Hey, in the immortal words of Judy Brown, happiness is a choice. We're happy you're spending some time with us on a terrific Tuesday, December 9th. Chip and Zay holding it down for you here on the Midday Texas Sports Unfiltered, the fastest growing show on the YouTube and Texas Sports Unfiltered app is where you can find us. Tell your friends and enemies. Grab their phone. Download the Texas Sports Unfiltered app. And make sure that you take note of the COTA, Circuit of the Americas, text line, 512-222-9328. And of course, please like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing, the Texas Sports Unfiltered YouTube channel so that we continue to grow. Zay, what's going on, my man?
What's up, dog? Feeling good, feeling great. Chip, how are you?
Now, you say that every single day. You say it with varying degrees of enthusiasm. Are you really feeling good, feeling great?
I'm feeling spectacular because I knew my girl, Carly Ursay Gordon, I knew she would have to make a move. She would have to do something desperate to save the season of her father's Indianapolis Colts, her late great father, Jim Irsay. And that was picking up one of my favorite quarterbacks out of retirement, 44 years old, your favorite quarterback, my favorite quarterback. Phillip Rivers is back, baby, back in the league.
What was Nick Foles? Was Nick Foles too busy winning pickleball tournaments?
Yeah, Nick Foles, he has another life. His days playing football are over. But Phillip, the game is calling him. So what? He has 15 kids. The kids could wait. They all grown now.
He's got grandkids.
Yeah, he got grandkids. You know what I'm saying? All the kids grown. He's coaching his son. But the itch is still there. The hunger, it's always going to be there.
This is the worst take you've ever made.
Come on, man. What you mean worst take I've ever made? You don't believe. You don't believe
Rivers.
Really.
I love Phillip Rivers.
Oh, no, you don't. You hate on Phillip.
Hold on. Let me finish. Go to YouTube and listen to his cuss-free trash talk. It's full of dat gummits, and I'll be gosh darned. You can't even believe it's like a Saturday Night Live skit that an NFL quarterback would be out here, talking trash like a member of the Beverly Hillbillies. That part I love about Phillip Rivers. Him playing football at 45. Hell, he couldn't play football at 42. So are we really that starved for quarterbacks that hey man, what, Joe Flacco? I mean, Phillip Rivers owes Joe Flacco. If Phillip Rivers gets a check from the Colts, he needs to buy Joe Flacco a bottle of his favorite booze, because that's what's going on here. I mean, do we not have any quarterbacks in their 30s who've played well enough? I mean, I joke about Nick Foles, but Nick Foles is a former Indianapolis Colts quarterback. I mean, this is terrible.
Yo, certain guys, no matter how old they are, they still got a little bit. Look, think about it right now. It's not like he's played a full season. He's fresh. He's got at least 10 games in him.
He's fresh right up until that first hit.
No.
And he's like, damn.
No, he could take that. He could take the hits. The ball comes out too quick anyway. That's why he's a legend. The release. Nobody has the Phillip Rivers release. Nobody. That ball's already out of his hands. Once that edge rusher beats the tackle, the ball's gone. Ball's gone. That edge rusher been thinking about, oh, man, I got this tackle.
You don't believe anything you're saying right now. Why are you digging in even harder?
Look, if it wasn't Carly Ursay-Gordon, I'd be right there with you. I'd be confused. I'd be skeptical. I'd be right there with you. But I believe in my girl. I believe in her. Come on, man. Come on. This is Rudy-esque. This is Disney-like. Remember the Titans? Like, this is all that. This is all that. This is just one of them destiny moves. I thought
you were gonna come in here talking NFL, talking about how great this Houston Texans defense is, how it's historically good.
Oh, I can't wait for Phillip to put up 300 on Houston.
Oh my God.
I can't wait for that.
How much can I get? How much you want to put down? I'm in. Name it. I'm in. Yeah, give Colt a call, for God's sake.
Nah,
give Colt McCoy a call. Colt's not 45.
Nah, Colt's chilling. We're really disrespecting future Hall of Famers here, which it's going to be set back now because we know you have to be 5 years out the league, so Phillip won't be in the Hall of Fame for a long time now, but he's in. Colt, I love Colt. What Colt meant to the University of Texas, what Colt did for his NFL career, I love Colt, but come on, man. Phillip Rivers, Colt McCoy. Let's not play around.
Wait, Phillip Rivers is in? Are you crazy?
Look at the stats.
Phillip Rivers ain't going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Look at the stats.
Is that what it is now? It's just stats? I mean, that's it. We're gonna put Jeff George in. I mean,
I'm just saying. Look at the numbers, man. 22 kids still putting up numbers. You got to go home to that. It's Cheaper by the Dozen. Have you seen that movie? It's a dark movie. That's basically a horror film. Cheaper by the Dozen. They try to play it like a Disney movie. Seth Rogen called it best and Knocked Up. This is a dark movie. It's a horror film. That's what Phillip Rivers lives, man. And I'm sure he loves it. He wanted all those kids. I'm sure him and his wife are very grateful. We know they are very deep in their faith. But that hunger for the game, you can't tell me the hunger for the game ain't taking over here. Because, again, Shane Steichen, they saw him work out. They didn't have to agree to it. It wasn't like Carly Ursay was like, this is happening. Carly Ursay say, guys, work him out, see how he looks, and then we'll make a decision. Shane Steichen said he looks good. Everybody said, oh, he looked good. He got that pop still. You know what I mean? And what's crazy, J.J. Watt said this on Twitter, this is an unbelievable thing that I'm about to say. J.J. Watt said, Phillip freaking Rivers, who coaches his son, his high school's team, they use the same playbook as Shane Steichen and the Colts. Obviously, they have to dumb it down for high schoolers, but it's around the same principles and the same scheme. Him and Shane Steichen talk all the time. Phillip and Shane Steichen are very close. So it's not like Phillip's going to come in like a chicken with his head cut off. He's familiar with what they're running. And the dude's got skins on the wall. So 45 is the new 35. You know what I mean? You know?
45 is the new 35.
It's the new 35. You know?
This is hilarious.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so let's who are they playing? Are the Colts playing the Texans?
They got them January 4th, I think.
Yeah, I'll any amount of money you want to put down.
Wow, man. Wow. Being so disrespectful.
I mean, I'm not trying to hate and Joe Flacco. I'm just saying. Joe Flacco opened the door for all these 40-somethings to come back into the league. And this is not going to go well. The Colts are done. The Colts are toast. And that's okay. It didn't work out. Take it from me. My Lions went 15-2 last year, got bounced in the first round by the Commanders. So it happens. The Houston Texans, however, what are the Texans' odds to reach the Super Bowl? Let me see what they are, because I'm tempted to put down some. I'd put down some money on the Texans right now. They're like plus 1,300. So you bet $100 to win $1,300. I'm tempted to put some little sugar down on the Texans.
Yeah, put some Skrilla down on them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Like, they're just
right now, the best odds to win the Super Bowl: Rams plus 420, Packers plus 750, Seahawks plus 800, Bills plus 850, Patriots plus 1,000. My God, the Lions are below the freaking Patriots. Denver Broncos plus 1,100, Eagles plus 1,100, Texans plus 1,500, Lions plus 2,000. Yeah, I'm tempted to put a little something down on the Texans, man.
What's Indianapolis?
Indianapolis is plus 20,000. You bet $100 to win $20,000.
Hey, man, that's some good Skrilla. I'm telling you, Indiana football all around the whole state. This is a basketball state, and football's big as ever. Fernando Mendoza, Kurt Signetti, and now they got Phillip Rivers back on the Colts. Come on, man. What could be better? What could be better?
Mean,
going for championships in Indiana. The whole state feels it.
Okay, so speaking of Fernando Mendoza, our guy Gunnar Stockton can't get no love. He can't get no love. So it's Fernando Mendoza, it's Diego Pavia, very deserving, Jeremiah Love, deserving, Julian Sayin, come on, man. That should be Gunnar Stockton. Gunnar Stockton had to go to Tennessee and get it done. Julian Sayin, it felt like every game he played was in Columbus.
Do you have to wait till after the Heisman to reveal your vote?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julian Sayin, just very conservative season to go. Now, his QBR was good, but you've seen these last 2 weeks against Michigan, against Indiana, Julian Sayin struggled. So, yeah, I'm with you. I'll take Gunnar Stockton over Sayin.
Well, or in addition to, we can have 5 finalists. Let's bring in Hank South, the managing editor, MVP of horns247.com. Hank, the Heisman finalists, love it. Fernando Mendoza, Diego Pavia, Jeremiah Love, Julian Sayin, but Gunnar Stockton, what does it take for Gunnar Stockton to get a little love? The guy was completing 80% of his passes in the fourth quarter and had to lead, come from behind drives against Tennessee, Florida, everyone but Texas.
I guess we never really just saw a Gunnar Stockton Heisman moment. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that could have. It just never seemed like he was that. He doesn't have flashy playmakers. Like they didn't have they have solid tight ends and they have Zachariah Branch, but I feel like you weren't turning on.
You're right. His Heisman moment was that touchdown pass to London Humphreys against Tennessee on 4th. That was it.
Yeah.
And that was too early. That was it.
Yeah. I'm a Mendoza guy. I think he should win it after that game against Ohio State at the post game interview. Love that guy.
Yeah, tell him
Yeah.
about that post-game interview. Zay was trying to make fun of him. I'm like, the guy's passionate, man.
Yeah.
Trying to make fun of him.
I'm excited to see his speech. We'll probably one up his post game Big Ten interview.
Yeah, how about his ascension from Cal, where he played well, but they got their heads kicked in, to now undefeated, sitting on top of the world going into this college football playoff?
Yeah, you wonder if Jack Indries isn't sitting there saying, "Man, I should have gone to Indiana with Fernando Mendoza." Not to say he didn't, he's had his moments, but I don't even sure if Indiana was. I'm sure they would have liked to take him, but I think that was. I was thinking about that on Saturday night. Mendoza goes Indiana, Jack Indries goes Texas, and one guy has a better season than the other, to say the least.
Hank, college football playoff. We finally got it. Your thoughts on how everything played out, your thoughts on the first round matchups and where Texas fell, which is playing Michigan in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just responding to a text. Yeah, on Saturday, I tweeted, with Texas, I think we talked about this last week. It's all about the losses. Like you can argue the strength of schedule, the head-to-heads. At the end of the day, I think the committee just looks at the win-loss column more than anything. I think it's the easy way out. So, I know it's lame, but the fact that Texas didn't get to 10 wins, you line them up with Alabama, who got their face kicked in by Georgia. And I do have one gripe. I don't think teams should be punished for playing in their conference title games, but the conference title games do have to mean something. It can't just be only good things come out of it. You have to, if you go and get your face smashed in, Texas dropped the most bizarre thing to me. Last year, Texas dropped one spot in the college football playoff rankings after losing in overtime to Georgia in the SEC title game. There was never doubt they were going to make the playoff, but they dropped a spot. That completely changed their seeding to where I forgot what the matchups would have been, but maybe a much easier road to the college football title. I think they would have played Notre Dame in the semifinal as opposed to Ohio State. Bama gets their teeth kicked in. They don't move a single spot. If anything, move them to 10. They stay right there at 9. And I'm sure they're not thrilled about going to Norman at nighttime. And, they have an Oklahoma problem at Alabama. So, we'll see. I don't think they love that matchup, but no punishment or consequence at all. That was crazy to me. I did like that the committee did the right thing and put Miami in over Notre Dame. It was clear as day. If they had left Miami out and kept Notre Dame in, that would have been insane. The G5, G6 thing, is what it is. I still think they should create another playoff for that tier, and just 5, there are conference champions and then the best remaining teams at the Power 4 level. But that's for another day. Overall, I thought the committee did that right, but not moving Bama at all was crazy to me. And then BYU ahead of Texas still. Are we serious? Come on.
Yeah. Are we serious?
So, but no, is what it is. I think Texas got, they'll play Michigan. It'll be a competitive bowl matchup. Excited to see who's going to play. It'll be an opportunity for maybe some young guys that, we're not going to see in a spring game setting because they don't do spring games anymore. Maybe we'll see in a bowl game setting that, they don't have their eligibility affected with. So maybe we'll see some of these guys we haven't seen as much this season get to contribute as we kind of see these portal announcements already trickling in day by day, even though the portal doesn't open for 3 more weeks. So
I thought the teams playing the best football at the end of the year, when it matters most, Indiana, Georgia. This is how I ranked them in my Football Writers Association poll. Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Texas A&M. They beat A&M head-to-head. Oregon 7, Ole Miss 8, Oklahoma 9. Ole Miss beat Oklahoma in Norman. Vanderbilt 10, Miami 11, Alabama 12, Notre Dame 13. And I thought Alabama was playing some lousy football. Now I know they got 10 guys hurt or whatever, but hey.
I mean that was a trend though. I mean they've been kind of limping to the finish line even with their guys healthy. So their offense has been non-existent. But yeah, and also that first round weekend's kind of lame. You got Bama, Oklahoma on Friday night, and then I know they're competing with the NFL that Saturday, but I feel like you don't even need to tune in to the Tulane and James Madison game. I mean, obviously we will because we love college football, but yeah, it's kind of a lame opening weekend compared to last year's.
Yeah. I'll tell you what else is lame. Texas volleyball's playing a Sweet 16 match at noon on Friday. How lame is that?
Jeez.
People are going to have to get off work to go try and fill Gregory Gym. Anyway, Hank, Anthony Hill is going pro. CJ Baxter is transferring. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by Anthony Hill. I think most of us thought that's the route he would go. Obviously legendary career at Texas, helped kind of bring them back to, that championship relevancy. So best of luck to him. Excited for him. Curious to see what other NFL decisions come out of this. But, we're seeing portal stuff. I'm not surprised by CJ Baxter. I think every decision we've seen so far has not been a surprise. And not to say, I think everyone would love to have CJ Baxter on the team, but I think everyone probably agreed that, maybe it's best for him to have a fresh start somewhere else. I think maybe he wasn't as effective as he was. He's still coming back from the knee injury. Maybe he needs another off season to fully get his body right, trust his body, and get back that explosiveness. It seemed like he was lacking down the latter half. So wish him the best of luck. I'll be rooting for that guy any day of the week, wherever he goes. And then, Trey Owens, I think everyone could have pictured that coming. Like, he wasn't on the travel squad. He was beat out by KJ Lacey. Obviously had his great spring game, his early enrollee spring, but kind of fell back towards the end. But credit to him. I mean, he stuck it out through the season. I saw him on the sideline cheering on his guys. I think that's going to help him. I'm kind of curious, just me thinking out loud, and I know we'll see decisions get made as the portal actually opens and those things get moving. But is Trey Owens not like a great fit for North Texas now with Neil Brown, and they just got Tyler Allen, the analyst, and Aaron Joe's going up there as the GM? Because isn't North Texas's quarterback going with Eric Morris up to Oklahoma State? So I mean, yeah. I feel like that's like the easy fit you could put for Trey Owens there, and then probably be really good there. But again, we don't know where he's going yet. I just was looking at that today as we were kind of going down the list. But yeah, so far, Sark talked about how they're doing their exit meetings, their end of season kind of interviews, reviews, auditing the program. You're meeting with everybody, kind of talking to your guys are coming back, what they can work on, talking to the guys who are on the fence, talk about guys maybe it's best to go mutual ways. So that's all happening. And so you're kind of seeing it in real time as then guys come out, and Aaron Butler puts his highlights on TikTok and hashtag transfer portal. So you're kind of seeing it all play out in real time. These meetings are happening this week and they're working through it. So would expect plenty more. Don't obviously have a list of names who's going, but I wrote a story last week. Texas averages in the portal era, I think 19 player departures each season via the portal. And so right now, 7, 8 right now. So there's going to be more coming, and it's going to be an opportunity for Texas to kind of reload, add some more veteran guys to their roster because they're still a really young team. And now they have that extra, 20 scholarships to play with. Obviously, they're not going to fill up to 105 scholarships. You can't play everybody on 105 scholarships. It wouldn't. But, extra 5 or 10 guys out of the portal you could potentially take. I mean, that can be a game changer for you.
Yeah, for sure. Hank, the all SEC teams just came out not too long ago. For the first team, Trevor Gooseby, Colin Simmons, Michael Taft. Second team, Ryan Wingo, Ant Hill Jr., Malik Muhammad, and Ryan Niblett for kick and punt return. And for the third team, DJ Campbell. Anybody on that list surprise you, and anybody that didn't make the list surprise you?
I need to look because right when as I came on, someone sent me I need to find the actual. One sec, let me pull it up.
Yeah, no Arch Manning.
Yeah,
Diego
no Arch Manning. That's a surprise, I'd say. But I mean, if you look at the guys that did make it, I mean, we were just hyping up Gunnar Stockton as I came on.
Yeah, he's a third teamer.
Yeah, not shocked. Trinidad Chambliss, who's had a great season at Ole Miss. So I mean, I understand the logic, I guess. Who else? What? Tell me what surprises jump off to you because I'm kind of just seeing it for the first time.
I ain't gonna lie, Ryan Wingo's second team. Yeah, that's interesting. Like this is a down year for wide receivers in the SEC, and kudos to Ryan Wingo. Like, good for him. But we all watched Texas football this year, and
first play of the game, Ryan Wingo.
Yeah, that's just I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean, so Ryan Niblett's second team is that what I'm seeing correctly?
Yeah,
that's interesting. I guess they gave the nod to KC Concepcion.
Yeah,
yeah, that would kind of surprise me considering he like single-handedly won 3 games for Texas via the return game, or could significantly contributed to wins.
Right. Yeah, KC Concepcion had 2 punt returns for touchdowns, but they weren't as integral to his team winning as Ryan Niblett's were, including, and especially the Mississippi State 79-yard return with 1:47 left.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Give Ryan Niblett some love. Come on.
Hank, Steve Sarkisian says they're going to the portal for offensive linemen. This is a break from what Steve Sarkisian has said in the past. We want to develop offensive linemen out of high school, get them indoctrinated in our program, have them working with the guys they're going to be playing with. That all seemed to go out the window this year in the sort of never-ending search for a left guard that did not include Neto Umazolo or Nate Kibble or Jaden Chapman.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Sark's sudden willingness to go to the portal for offensive linemen?
Yeah, I think you just, you can look at it in a few different ways. Like it's worked out for them so far to kind of have their homegrown offensive linemen where they've had them in-house, they developed them. It really helps when you have a guy like Kelvin Banks who they just totally hit on year one as a starting left tackle, true freshman. And so, I think in hindsight, when you're losing as much experience as they lost, regardless of Trevor Gooseby having playing time in last year's kind of late postseason run and Texas A&M game, regardless of bringing back DJ Campbell, Cole Hudson had a lot of experience, but you were replacing 4 long-time starters on that offensive line, and they kind of just trusted what they had. They kind of got bit in the behind in fall camp with injuries. Obviously, Kojo could have maybe changed the dynamics of everything had he stayed healthy. That was the only real big one, but that the season ending that I can think of. But I know there were some other guys nicked up throughout fall camp. I know Gooseby was not fully healthy going into that Ohio State game as well. I think, when you're losing that much experience from a certain position group, I think it's just in this era, it's vital to go into the portal, regardless of whether that's what you've done in the past or not. And I think Texas saw that this year, as they played with their best 5, trying to figure out who it was. Probably could have argued that it lost them the game against Florida. Obviously, the defense also wasn't helping them stop DJ Lagway and the Gators offense, but you got Nick Brooks starting out there at left guard, not playing great football. Had that been Cole Hudson and Connor Robertson, I can't remember if that was when they were dealing with the injuries with them too, but that could have been a different outcome. So going into this season, you're losing Cole Hudson, potentially Connor Robertson. We'll see what he decides to do, or Texas decides to do with that position. And DJ Campbell, that's potentially your entire interior offensive line. We'll see what Trevor Gooseby does with the NFL. Brandon Baker, I think we believe is coming back. So you got to go out in the portal and you got to bring guys in that can come in and contribute right away to kind of be a stopgap there, and if nothing else, help the other guys develop more or raise the level of competition in the spring to where if a guy like Nate Kibble is ready to play, you have a better feel for it because you're seeing him go up compared to some maybe more immediate impact or more veteran players at the position. So makes sense. They've got to do it. That could be the key to next season's potential postseason run is can they hit it on, get it right with the offensive line going into the season from the beginning, where they find their best 5 out of fall camp and not find their best 5 late October when it was not too late, but it was pretty late.
Hank, with National Signing Day wrapping up last week, what stood out to you? You told us last week that Rodney Cleveland likely would flip to North Carolina. That happened, but a surprising flip last minute was Corey Wells going with Alex Golish to Auburn. Talk about that a little bit in the rest of National Signing Day.
Yeah, the defensive line finish, depending on what you want to classify Jamarian Carlton as, you sign one interior defensive lineman in James Johnson, which, it's funny because I think if you had asked me in August, like which defensive line was most likely to flip, I probably would have said James Johnson before anybody else. And then we're here in December and it's James Johnson that's the only one that signs, which it's kind of hilarious. But Rodney Cleveland we expected. I know, UNC was making a huge NIL push for him. Texas wasn't willing to match that from what they were doing. And so that made sense. Corey Wells, I was a little surprised, not shocked. I think in September we thought, a flip to Auburn was probable. And then Texas got him back on campus. They kind of smoothed things over with him. They kind of quelled the Auburn push. And then he visited Auburn again for the Iron Bowl a couple weeks ago. They obviously have the momentum with the new staff. And I'll say this, like covering state kids, I used to cover Alabama, like kids in the state of Mississippi. It's never like they have the most dramatic finished recruitments, like always. And typically it involves kids going to Ole Miss or Mississippi State. It's usually like they can commit somewhere else, but they're going to end up going to one of the in-state schools, or they can commit to Mississippi State, but they're going to end up going to Ole Miss. Like it's a wild dynamic in the state of Mississippi. And sometimes Auburn gets involved there as well. We saw Deuce Knight, they're pretty good in that region as well. So, not surprised. He has a twin brother, Chris Wells, he was a South Alabama linebacker commit, and they obviously wanted to play together. Texas actually offered his brother a scholarship. Like they don't really do package deals, but Texas needed some linebackers. The cap on scholarships got boosted up, so they threw their hat in the ring with Chris Wells as well. And I thought that might be kind of the X factor in maybe getting him to hang on and sign with Texas, but he flipped to Auburn, who had kind of the same layout for Corey and his brother Chris. And so they're heading that way. And I think there was an interview right after he committed or announced where he was signing. And his brother was like, I thought we were going to Texas. Like, this is a surprise. This is a surprise to me just as much as it is to so I thought that was pretty funny. So, but yeah, no, I think that was kind of that was a hit. And, Corey Wells, solid defensive lineman, that's going to be an area they have to go in the portal now. And I wrote now maybe it becomes even more of an important item this month or this week to re-recruit Hero Canoe back. Like they actually have an okay amount of depth on the interior. Like this isn't a situation where they're having to replenish everything. Like they'll have Alex January back. LaVon Johnson has extra eligibility. Murad Watson's only a sophomore. And then they have those, the 3 young guys that they're bringing up, and Myron Charles, Josiah Sharma, Justice Terry. So, they have guys, but, you probably want to get another guy or 2 out of the portal just to be safe. Obviously with pretty treacherous schedule in 2026 as well, where you want to keep those guys being able to come in waves as they've been able to do this past season. Yeah.
Hero Canoe.
He's getting day 2 grades. CBS Sports put out their top draft prospects. I think he was at 87. So, he's getting 3rd round buzz. So, that's what, like a 1.2 million signing bonus. And, can they match that and say, hey, come boost your stock and get into the 1st round or early 2nd? Like, I don't know. I think he has a tough decision to make.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that, what mock drafts say don't always equate to what the NFL thinks.
Cam Williams.
So
yeah,
you need an agent who's going to be honest with you. But Hero Canoe coming back for another season would be, would be a plus. We'll see if they can handle that.
and just from just sorry to interrupt you, but like just from a leadership standpoint too. I know defensive linemen usually he's not the quarterback of the defense, but you're losing Anthony Hill, you're losing Michael Taft, you're losing some pretty strong voices on that defense, and that Hero Canoe came in and was a leader from I remember Ohio State week we were talking about Hero Canoe and Arch Manning. Everyone was talking about how great of a leader this guy is, and so I think just from that voice in the locker room could help as well.
Yeah, I know they're trying to get the Colin Simmons deal done. They're trying to hang on to Jelani McDonald, and then everybody else is kind of waiting to see how their money shakes out.
They need to get in on the private equity game like Utah over here, which is crazy. But not saying that'll ever happen, but maybe, who knows?
Who do you like winning the whole thing in the college football playoff?
I'm going to go with Georgia. I think they're playing the best, and I didn't think Georgia was going to have the year they're having, but Kirby Smart, just the master motivator, like he can. I don't know. There's something about Georgia, the buy-in. They're playing great defense. They kind of struggle with Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's a good football team, but they spanked Alabama. They got the first round bye. I wouldn't bet against them winning 3 straight in the playoff.
Yeah. Hank, was the Chris Henry Jr. ever a real thing? What went down with that? I know he was obviously committed to Ohio State. The Brian Hartline thing situation happened, and it made him rethink some things, and he ended up staying with Ohio State. But supposedly Texas was in the mix.
Yeah. No, I was told like they did, throw their hat in for him. I don't know what the dollar figure was. It had to be something insane to get his attention. So, but I don't think they were ever like a serious candidate to get him. I think it was more just like, hey, he's still available. Let's see if we can make something happen. I was actually kind of more curious to see, if they were able to kind of pull Jalen Lott late, because he was holding off on signing until I think Friday morning, if not Thursday night. And so that was kind of interesting. I thought maybe because all we've been hearing this fall is like the only other receiver they would have taken is Jalen Lott, just because he's a legacy. He's a playmaker, can kind of like a Jermaine Bishop type where he can do both sides of the ball effectively, but obviously probably more of a receiver in the future. But no, he got it done with Oregon, and then and Chris Henry stuck with Ohio State. So, the problem with that is like if they had gotten Chris Henry, and not to say this is a bad thing, it would have been a completely money decision for Chris Henry. Like I'm not even sure he's ever visited Texas that I can remember, if it wasn't maybe for a 7-on-7 tournament or something somewhere nearby. But like there was no like connection there outside of just like standard recruiting. Like they didn't get him in on an official visit or anything. So we always heard like if someone was going to flip him, it was going to be Oregon, and even USC was kind of lurking around too, even though they have like 8 receivers in their class. So yeah, I mean, I think they tested the waters with him, but I don't think it was ever like a serious probability that it would happen.
Hankster, I know you're going 100 miles an hour. Keep up the great work. Zay, you got one more?
No, appreciate you, Hank, as always, man.
Yeah.
Hank, you're the man. Appreciate you. Let's do it again next week.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Thanks.
All right, there he is. Hank South, managing editor and MVP of the Horns247.com team. Yeah, it's nuts out there. It's nuts.
Yeah, I knew they weren't getting no Chris Henry. I don't even know why he was BSing around.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
I mean, Brian Hartline, when he found out he was going to be the head coach at Southern Florida, like that's a big reason why these wide receivers go to Ohio State, even though they appreciate what Ryan Day does. You've seen what Brian Hartline's done with Jackson Smith-Njigba and Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Marvin Harrison Jr., and the list goes on and on and on. So I get him rethinking some things, but Steve Sarkisian has made it known we don't want a guy for just money. Like he has to fit.
Yeah.
Everything has to fit. So that could disrupt your locker room. Well, a guy comes for just money and he's getting paid top dollar and his intentions aren't the best, which Chris Henry Jr., that dude, we know what happened to his father, God rest his soul. So for him to be, a big time superstar, highly touted recruit, that's a pretty cool story with everything that family's been through.
Yeah. As long as he's, not kinfolk to Travis Henry. You know what I mean? Isn't Travis Henry the one who had 22 kids? Anyway, here's what's going to be funny. Georgia's going to win the national championship, and Gunnar Stockton wasn't a Heisman finalist. Probably going to he's probably going to have his Heisman moment too late. That's why I wish we would do these National Player of the Year awards after the championship so that you don't, leave someone out, Vince Young, who totally deserves to win these National Player of the Year awards. Just saying.
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton, for him to be third team all SEC too. Like I'm taking him over Trinidad Chambliss.
Hell yes.
I'm taking him over Ty Simpson.
Yes.
Now Diego Pavia, cool. Diego Pavia, number one. We good with that. Diego, shout out to Mama, the whole fam. Hope the whole fam doesn't get arrested in New York when they go for the Heisman. You never know.
Or get arrested if it's that worth it, if you're having the time of your life.
They've been getting arrested all year. The whole tenure of Diego Pavia's career, they've been arrested at least 3 or 4 times together in total. But yeah, let's go through the all SEC team list because Mookie Taft too. I love Mookie Taft, but for him to be on first team, all right. Like he missed games. The games he came back, he was getting ran over. Had to find God again. Got to get baptized again. So I'm sure that's good for him. That's good for his stock. That's good for the draft and stuff like that, to get all the credentials you could get. But yeah, Ryan Wingo, Mookie Taft, that's a little bit of a head scratcher. Trevor Gooseby makes sense. Him being first team makes sense. Colin Simmons makes sense. Malik Muhammad, second team, makes sense. Anthony Hill, second team. Who made it over him on the first team? That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
CJ Allen, Xavier
I'm not
Atkins.
buying that.
I ain't buying that.
CJ Allen for sure. Look, Josiah Trotter is a good story. I don't think he's better than Anthony Hill. So,
but Ant Hill missed games. So if whoever's making those decisions, yeah, like those guys played all the games. Ant Hill's missing some. All right.
Like, Ahmad Hardy is a good story. Jaden Baugh, I would take over him, and I know we can argue numbers. Ahmad Hardy, Kawan Lacey. Jaden Baugh is the man. He played on a bad team, so he got punished for that. Mike Washington is a big, strong dude who's going to make some NFL team happy. It's interesting. There are 3 running backs on the second team and only 2 on the first team. But yeah, I mean, Jelani McDonald. Robbed. So I don't get that. Jelani McDonald left off of all SEC teams. Not feeling that.
Yeah, because you can argue Jelani McDonald had just as good a season as Michael Taft. And Michael Taft was first team. So I don't know, SEC. I don't know. Did they have MVP and stuff? Did that all drop? Or did they do that?
They don't do that.
They don't do that. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Dalen Everett on the third team. I mean, I'm like, Dalen Everett. I know he didn't have the year he had last year, but
yeah. See, man, again, I'm not trying to hate on Texas players here, but Mario Craver third team and Ryan Wingo second team is bananas. That's insane. That makes 0 sense. 0 sense to me. Are we watching the games here?
right.
It's like, are they just watching the first play of the Texas game and turning it off because they see Ryan Wingo take them screens to the crib? Like, Mario Craver is incredible. Big reason why A&M is in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Third team? Come on.
And these are the votes of the head coaches. So maybe they don't watch the games.
Yeah, they ain't watching the game.
I mean, they're watching film, but they're not watching all these teams. You don't play all these teams. You're watching film of the teams you're playing against.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, they don't. It makes for some interesting topics because I thought they missed on Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion are probably the two biggest impact transfers in A&M's success offensively.
100%.
They were the guys who got added. You know, you had Le'Veon Moss, you had Reuben Owens, you had Marcel Reed. Who didn't you have? You didn't have Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver. Now you're you're hosting a playoff game, even though you lost by double digits to Texas. You're hosting a playoff game.
So it's just head coaches or it's all the coaches on the staff?
Head coaches or whoever they appoint to vote and send in the ballot.
Yeah, that's a bad system.
Yeah.
That's a bad system. That's really bad. Like it's kind of like when MJ was always getting first team all defense back in the day. And it's like, dude, we get he's capable of being a first team all defender when he has to, but ain't no way all 82 games he's out here locking up like that. He's making a big time loud steal, maybe a loud block that will be all over Sports Center that night, and that's all you'll see. You know, like you play well a couple of seasons and you get a reputation. And I think that's what Michael Taft has, which a lot of it he deserves. Like Michael Taft is a hell of a player. Who knows what would have happened if the hand injury wasn't even a thing. Like who knows? But I'm sorry, I did not see first team all SEC play from 16 this year. Last year, hell yeah, I saw that. And he had his flashes, but yeah, that's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, I didn't expect Arch Manning to be on anything.
Yeah, his time will come. He got going over the last 5 games of the season. That's not enough. But he should hit 2026 at a level that we probably expected to see him at the beginning of 2025, or some people expected to see him. The idiots that were making him the favorite to win the Heisman and didn't realize there were 10 impact guys on offense that were being replaced from last season. 10 on offense. So yeah, I think he hits the ground running. It'll be fun. You'll see Manning against Julian Sayin in Austin to get things going next year. And the winner of that game will get a huge boost confidence-wise throughout their whole team.
Yeah.
And, Texas is going to need it because 9 conference games is no joke.
Hell no, it ain't no joke. Now, I got the preseason by the committee of the SEC teams. Garrett Nussmeier was preseason first team. Second team quarterback was Norris Sellers, preseason second team. And third team was DJ Lagway. Crazy. All 3 of those dudes struggled their ass off this year. Like, them preseason rankings don't mean a damn thing. Because you just got to bring it on the field. You just never know. Everybody was so sure on the North Sellers. Everybody was so sure on Garrett Nussmeier, DJ Lagway, all those guys. Dan even cracked the list. We were talking about Diego Pavia, but not like first team. Nobody was talking about Trinidad Chambliss. Everybody was thinking Austin Simmons was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about Ty Simpson. No one was talking about Gunnar Stockton. But all those dudes overachieved and then some. So I love
How about Missouri leading the way with 4 reps on the first team? Missouri.
That's brutal. That's good, but also you ain't get close to the college football playoff. And you got all that. So, what are these coaches doing?
Yeah.
I get Ahmad Hardy.
But I don't know that he was even the, like I said, Jaden Baugh, and I guess let me look at their numbers because that was, and Ahmad Hardy, we saw him a year ago when he came through with Louisiana Monroe. He's, good football player, but Jaden Baugh, man, woo, that dude. Look, Hardy had a good year. There's no 2 ways around it. But eyeball test, Jaden Baugh, man.
I'll give Hardy the benefit of the doubt. When Pabula went out, teams started packing way more guys in the box, and he was still able to be productive. So, third string quarterback, everybody knows you're going to get the ball more often than not because you don't want to put it in your third string's hands. And yeah, Laffy first team. Someone said.
What's that?
Someone asked Laffy Taffy, Michael Taff first team on the Coda text line, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, Kawan Lacey had 20 rushing touchdowns for Ole Miss, so that's going to grab your attention. Ahmad Hardy had 16 rushing touchdowns, 1,500 yards rushing, and then Jaden Baugh on a bad football team that was having to throw the ball to play catch up had 1,170 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns on the ground. So Baugh is a sophomore. He's getting tampered with if Texas is looking in the portal.
Yeah. John Summerall, we'll see if he could retain all those guys. Because if he can, and he can make those guys, fit his system, they could be dangerous. Because Florida has talent. We saw it firsthand. But, yeah, all those guys, they should flirt. Like, everyone should. Even if you know you were going to stay, you got to have some type of leverage to get Mo Skrilla. Like, who knows what Colin Simmons is talking about? That scares me a little bit. I'm sure he's going to get what he deserves, but that dude, if he has the season that we think he could have in 2026, he could be the number 1 overall pick. I said that after the Michigan game last year, 2024. I still stand on that. Like, he probably even say, oh, I could get so much better. Because that first part of the year, it was, and then conference play started, and Colin Simmons just flipped the switch and started dominating. So we'll see. We'll see what that negotiation, how that goes.
Remember Trevor Etienne went from Florida to Georgia?
Yeah, cold-blooded.
Let's see. I mean, Texas plays Florida next year. 3rd straight year. Now that we're in the 9-game SEC conference schedule, Texas is going to play Arkansas in Austin again. They're going to play Florida in Austin, Mississippi State in Austin, Ole Miss in Austin. They'll play at A&M, at Missouri, at LSU. And Oklahoma will be considered a road game next year because Oklahoma is the home team in the Red River Shootout.
Why didn't the Arkansas game flip?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
I'd be pissed.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
Like, what? If I'm Ryan Silverfield, like, what are we doing? We just went here. Well, he didn't go, but they just went down there. Got 50-something put up on them. Now they got to go back-to-back years? Where they do that at? Like, Arkansas's been in the SEC. Texas just got here. That's cold, man. Razorbacks, y'all don't deserve that. Y'all just won 2 games. Y'all don't deserve that, man. Now, Texas, they can take it because Vietnam, I don't care what Arkansas team they have. Good, bad, ugly, sad. Vietnam's Vietnam. That's a tough place to get out with a dub, no matter who's on the other side. So we'll take it, but yeah, that ain't fair at all.
Man, I am fired up to go to Knoxville, Tennessee next year. That's one of the stadiums I have not been to.
Yeah.
So
it's just a pretty location, Neyland.
Yeah.
Right by the water, right by that bridge. It's just beautiful scenery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Aguilar coming back? Is he a senior or is he got eligibility left?
He's got eligibility.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Next year, another year in Josh Heupel's system. Because think about just how, like, out of the blue it was for the Nico Ilimaliava situation.
Oh, wait. No, he's done.
Okay. Whoa. That's huge.
He done.
That's huge. Now, I think they got a big-time recruit coming in.
Well, I don't know. It says here he played at Appalachian State 2 years and Tennessee 1. So why he would have eligibility? Let me look somewhere else.
Did he never play at UCLA?
No, remember?
I thought
he transferred from App State and then he left UCLA in the swap for Nico Iamaleava. Yeah,
what a bad trade. Tennessee fans, at first they thought they got the short end of the stick. Nah, they got a guy who's actually humble, wants to play football, whose dad's not going to try to grip the whole freaking university. Like, yeah, they won in my opinion because he surprised me this year. He wasn't perfect, but he had him in a lot of games and he threw for a lot of yards.
Okay, so he could be a Diego Pavia guy because he played 2 seasons at Diablo Valley Community College. That's why they're saying he's a senior, but he might be able to get a waiver. He played in 23 and 24 at App State. Or maybe that was his waiver year and then 1 year at Tennessee. So he got 5 seasons. If you count the 2 years he played at Diablo Valley Community College. Because Diego played 2 years at that New Mexico Military College, right?
Yeah.
And are they given one? My mind is. They're giving you 1 year of D1 eligibility for 2 years of JUCO. If that's the case, then Joey Aguilar is done because he played 2 years of JUCO and 3 years of D1 ball.
Yeah, according to the Google's AI, it says it's uncertain but possible Joey Aguilar plays in 2026.
Yeah.
He's a plaintiff in a lawsuit against the NCAA regarding junior college eligibility, which could grant him another year, but the ruling hasn't happened. And he's previously considered the NFL, leaving his 2026 status dependent on court outcomes and personal choice.
Yep. He's Diego Pavia. And he put up good numbers.
Put up good numbers. Yeah.
He got good numbers.
He's got a good arm, man. Like, I was shocked how good he looked, coming in. I did not think. And kudos to Josh Heupel because, again, it was just so random and out of the blue. So everything has to work, and it did for the most part. I mean, they did get blown out by Vanderbilt, which Tennessee, they don't lose to Vanderbilt very often, but we know this is an anomaly type of year for Vanderbilt with what Clark Lee and Diego Pavia have done. So you can't be too mad at it. But, yeah, if he stays, Pete Kwiatkowski's going to have his hands full.
Who do you think wins the Heisman?
I think
Pavia or Fernando?
I think Fernando.
You think it's close?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I just think Fernando made some big plays on a huge stage against the best team in the nation, even though his stats didn't wow anybody. Those Heisman moments where he just they needed big throws and he made them, And Diego Pavia, he didn't play this past weekend, so I would like Diego to win it, but yeah, I think Fernando Mendoza, it's his. Putting it on for Indiana, like, come on.
They're both unbelievable stories. I mean, Diego Pavia, to me, is a guy that's polarizing for all the reasons, getting an extra year to play after the JUCO lawsuit. The fact that he's rough around the edges, but man, you gotta look at what he did on the field. He transformed a program. He transformed the mindset of a program. And I'm going to be fascinated to see if Clark Lee can maintain that, because those players, they don't come around very often. Vince Young is that kind of player. He transformed a program, transformed a coach. He changed the way Mac Brown coached and thought and took the bus to the stadium. He changed all that. And those players followed him, just like Vanderbilt's players followed Diego Pavia. And, if you're looking at who meant more to their team, man, it's probably Pavia. But Fernando came through in those clutch moments, and they're undefeated, and it's Indiana, and Indiana ain't never won nothing.
Nothing.
Last time they won a bowl game was 1991. 1991.
That's horrible.
That's pathetic.
Horrible.
That's pathetic. All right. Let's get a couple mentions in here. Break things up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and for my guys who are snoring, how about giving the gift of you not snoring to the person sleeping next to you? Because, hey, the real deal is if you're snoring, it could be the sign of a serious health issue called sleep apnea, which is a lack of oxygen while you're sleeping. You don't even know how much you're gasping, or maybe you do. And if you're waking up and like short of breath and you're not getting much sleep and you can't, you need to get in to see our friend, Dr. Chad Denman at the Sleep Cycle Center of Austin. We're fortunate to have Dr. Chad. I mean, he is a foremost expert on sleep apnea, has dedicated his life to treating it because it killed his own father at the age of 60. And because of our partnership, Texas Sports Unfiltered and the Sleep Cycle Center, you go to sleepcyclecenters.com. Tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. They're going to take $100 off your sleep study. And guess what? That sleep study is going to tell you what you need to know. It's going to detect your level of sleep apnea. And of course, Dr. Chad has the best treatment options, including oral appliances like I have. Mouth guard holds my lower jaw open so that I get that oxygen when I'm sleeping. I get a good night's sleep, deep sleep, wake up rested, feeling good. That's what it's all about. Take advantage of this incredible partnership that we have right now. And guys, take care of yourself. We tell you to go to the, get your physical, get your colonoscopy, go to the Austin Heart Hospital and get checked. And look at this. My man, Michael Trujillo says, Chip, I got my Super Beats and my turmeric chews in yesterday. That's right. Humann with 2 N's. Listen, I am a junkie for supplements, but now I'm a junkie for Humann's supplements, and that's what it's all about. Listen, their scientific formulas developed right at the University of Texas Health Science Center. Cardiologists recommend Humann's Beats products at the top of their list to help with heart health. And now you've got metabolic health daily. And it says right there on the packaging, it's going to help you with blood sugar and weight management. Metabolic health daily. Okay, that's number one. Then you've got the cardiovascular health daily, because I want you to take all 3 of these together. And this is going to help with blood flow, blood pressure, vascular health. These are things that you don't want to have catch up to you later in life. And then, of course, cholesterol health daily. It's going to help you with healthy cholesterol levels. It's going to keep your body working like a nice, well-oiled engine. And, of course, what Michael's talking about, the Super Beats. Look, if you've ever had any blood pressure issues, this is going to help promote healthy blood pressure 2 times more effectively than just diet and exercise. They're, tasty chews. And the turmeric chews for anti-inflammation. So you go to humann.com/TSU, use the promo code TSU. You're going to get 20% off your first order. So load up on the metabolic, the cardiovascular, the cholesterol health daily, and the Super Beats and the turmeric chews. Why? Because there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's no risk to you except feeling better. Brain fog goes away. Body's going to feel better. It's beautiful. All right, Zay. What'd you think of the Chargers-Eagles game last night? The Chargers win the game Laura Rutledge was trying to interview Justin Herbert. He's like, I'm trying to go celebrate with my team. She's like, well, can we talk to you for a second? Because, we're kind of obligated to get a post-game interview.
Yeah, it's kind of mandatory, Justin.
Kind of mandatory. You're the one they want. You're the one they're going to get.
Man, you see how dudes switch up sometimes when they get a baddie, when they get a fine-ass woman, they start acting different, man. He got Madison Beer, and now he too good to do interviews and stuff like that, which he's tough. Like, that's kind of been the knock on Justin Herbert is this guy tough enough to lead your team as a quarterback? He has that just kind of California cool vibe, and he went to Oregon, and he just never had good postseason success, even though he has all the intangibles in the world. But him playing with that offhand, broken hand, and he took some shots last night, like 7 sacks. That Eagles defense, they're all over him. But the Eagles add more turnovers, and in an overtime game, that type of stuff catches up with you. And yeah, the Eagles, man, I have no idea that it could get this bad. And Jalen Hurts, he looks a shell of himself from what we saw last year. Like that play where he threw the interception, the dude fumbled, Jalen Hurts picks it up, then fumbles. That's just a prime example of what the Eagles season has been like. Like in a nutshell. And AJ Brown, all that, just throwing hissy fits, being a distraction, low-key being a cancer to your squad. And for you to have all those drops that you had last night, like, come on, man. That's the stuff we're talking about. That's the stuff we're talking about. Like, just play. Just play, because everyone has bad days. And now it's catching up with your team. So instead of when things were going good, AJ Brown could have been locked in like, yo, we still could be better, but we're still winning games. Like everybody, we have a bullseye on our back. Everybody's hunting for us. We're the champs. We got to get through it, but we're still winning games. No, he bitched. He moaned, he acted like it was an issue, and now it's catching up with the team where I think it's gotten that far out of control, where I think Nick Sirianni has low-key lost this squad, which is insane for a team that just won a Super Bowl 11 months ago. It's nuts, man. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen like a team that won a Super Bowl have this many problems in-house. And yeah, like for a team that maybe could have had a dynasty, now you're thinking, what are they going to do? Like, who are they going to split up? What moves are they going to have to make to just try to keep whatever success they've had going relevant? Because it seems like there's a lot of folks that don't want to be there. And it's a shame because they have so much talent still. And even if they make the playoffs, I wouldn't want to see them in the playoffs just because they got championship DNA and they could figure it out. But it ain't
someone who does not give a flip about the Philadelphia Eagles? Cameron Dicker, the kicker. 5 field goals last night, including a 54-yarder in overtime to win the game. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, baby. You don't think he's getting some action last night? Kidding me? That was awesome. I mean, Jim Harbaugh loves Dicker, the kicker. He had a 45-yarder, a 34-yarder, a 31-yarder, a 46-yarder with 8 seconds left in regulation to force overtime, and then a 54-yarder in OT to win it. Hey, OLIPOP to Dicker the kicker, baby. That was gangsta. That was gangsta, man.
He's impressive, man. Like the Lake Travis native just has,
ice water.
Ice water. Like, he just never phased. He's such a good locker room guy, too. Usually when you think about kickers, how can they relate to everybody else in the locker room? Guys that are completely yoked that no one want to see in a back alley somewhere, while kickers look like your professors that you grow up with and go to college in a way. Like, they just very clean cut, and Cameron Dicker just as good a personality as you're going to find in the NFL with what he does off the field. And yeah, the guy's just clutch. Always has been since he was at Lake Travis to Texas, now for the LA Chargers.
Salvatore says, Dicker the kicker won my fantasy game for me. I clinched a first round bye. That's right.
That's big time, Sal. Congrats.
5 of 5. 46-yarder with 8 seconds left in regulation to force overtime, and then a 54-yarder to win it in overtime. And that was the craziest game, man, because Saquon Barkley was running. The Eagles defense had 7 sacks, and Dicker the kicker was just booting, 3-pointers left and right last night until his team finally won the game. Way to go, Dicker. That guy. I mean, it's like he's just picked up where Justin Tucker left off.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully my man ain't getting a massage or nothing. Hopefully, maybe one masseuse. That's all you need. All you need is one, y'all. You don't need 15. You don't need, just get one that you can keep with you, that you trust. Keep things professional. It's very easy, very simple. It's just wow.
And Dicker is the Chargers Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
Yeah.
How do we vote for that? That dude, I need to see him at the ESPYs getting that Walter Payton Man of the Year or whatever the NFL awards show is.
There's a video where they're telling him that he's nominated and he's tearing up because that's a big deal. What you do outside of the field and your impact, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are less fortunate in this world. And Cameron Dicker, he acknowledges that. And whatever he could do to give back in that LA area and beyond, he does. So that's what I'm saying. Just a good guy. Just a class act and
funny,
clutch. Yeah, hilarious.
Puts those videos together, trying to get votes for the Pro Bowl, and he's making fun of himself. And yeah, man, we need to get Dicker on the show.
We do, man.
It's been a minute.
Like, during his off week, he was here in the ATX at DKR.
Yeah.
Like, come on, a lot of guys on their off week. They in the Bahamas, they in Cabo, Cancun. Cameron Dicker said, "No, I got to go back home."
Yeah. Man. All right, so now you look at these NFL standings. Who's your Super Bowl winner right now?
Probably the Rams.
Houston Texans.
I would love that matchup. I wouldn't mind seeing that in the Super Bowl at all. Rams versus Texans.
So I think the Texans defense, I think the offense is starting to realize, oh man, we don't have to do that much. We just got to make sure we're not, committing any turnovers, because our defense is going to get us the ball. It's going to get us some short fields. I know they're 8-5 right now, and you're looking, at the Patriots and the Bills and all this. Watch out, man. Texans, they got to catch Jacksonville, win that division, get that bye, and then watch out, man.
Yeah. Yeah, CJ Stroud, he's just still trying to find the rhythm. He missed a lot of games with that concussion. And shout out to Davis Mills. Davis Mills, he's going to be one of those guys that's always going to have a job because of what he's done as a backup. That's what you got to do when your number is called. Win a couple of games, go right back on the bench. You're going to keep on getting contracts, bruh. Ask Charlie Batch, ask Colt McCoy, etc. So that was big. And now that CJ Stroud is back, he's slowly getting more and more acclimated. And you're right, Chip. They don't got to do nothing out of the ordinary. Like CJ Stroud, a big reason why he has struggled so far in his young career is he feels like he has to put that Superman cape on all the time. So
Right.
when the offensive line is struggling their ass off, which they've done a lot through his career, he's running backwards a lot, times where he should be throwing the ball out of bounds or live to play another down. He's trying to make something out of nothing. And before you know it, it's too late. And that 2nd and 7 turns into 3rd and 20. And now CJ Stroud is not doing that. He's just being a lot smarter, just being straight up possession quarterback, system quarterback. That's okay. People hate system quarterbacks. They hate that narrative. I'd love to be a system quarterback if it means winning. Like, sounds like a good gig to me. So, yeah, let your defense be the focal point of your team. Run the football, control the clock, play smart, dink and dunk your way up the field, and live with the results. And I think the Houston Texans, D'Amico Ryans, they're realizing that, hey, they could do that. It's not pretty, but it's effective. And that's why they're sitting at the 7th spot in the playoffs right now. And if they played the Patriots first round and they had to go to Foxborough, oh, that's a brutal first game for Mike Vrabel and them, because that whack-ass schedule that they've played this year and all that pressure, that's a lot for that defense. That's a lot, or against that defense.
Here's what I love, okay? The Texans' last four games are at home against the Arizona Cardinals, at home against the Las Vegas Raiders, at the LA Chargers, and home against your Phillip Rivers-led Colts.
Yo, man, why you got me talking about the Texans, man? You tripping, because Phillip's going to mess up all that. I don't even know why you got me talking like this.
You're a fool.
What you mean? Phillip's
There's no chance.
Everything.
The Texans are going to be 12-5, 11-6 at the worst. And watch out, man. Nobody wants to face that defense.
No. Yo, they might kill Phillip. Straight up. I know I'm joking and stuff about Phillip Rivers. The way this defense is, again, I've never seen Patrick Mahomes look that lost like I did on Sunday night. He looked lost. Like, Andy Reid looked lost too. Like, they had no answer for what the Texans were throwing at him. Like, it's just, Will Anderson's an animal. Danielle Hunter's an animal. You know,
Al Shazier,
he's
just the right amount of loco.
Right, just the right amount. Yeah, they've tamed it. I think they got him on Ritalin this year. They got him on something. They have to, because what I saw last year, where everything he was doing was crown of the helmet, and everything he was doing was just after the whistle. He has been calm. I don't know whatever his shrink is getting paid, he needs a raise. I don't know what they did to Al, because that man is just controlled chaos. Last year, it was just chaos. This year, it's controlled, and the Texans, they're benefiting from that. Like, kudos to him, because I thought they would drop him. I really
got
did.
3 receivers from Iowa State: Jaden Higgins, Xavier Hutchinson, and Jalen Noel. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. But Nico Collins is the man. Tank Dell's on injured reserve or whatever. Is he ever coming back? He was good, man. Tank Dell's explosive.
Yeah. And somebody in the comment section said if wide receivers are dropping the ball, I guess Mahomes is looking lost. Yo, those are hospital balls, if you ask me. Like, Travis Kelce, he threw that. That was a hospital ball. Like, when you throw the ball in traffic like that, yeah, receivers, tight ends, they have to catch it. But Tom Brady used to talk all the time about when I played against guys like Ray Lewis, I'm not throwing across the middle. You got to change your game. You got to adjust based on the personnel that you're facing. So if the Texans are out here hitting like crazy, like they did, Jalen Petrie laying out Rashee Rice, Lassiter laying out Travis Kelce and Derek Stingley, locking up guys, Patrick Mahomes, maybe you shouldn't throw in those spots. That's what I mean by lost. Like, I saw a lot of hospital balls Sunday night, man. And Patrick Mahomes, he had his hands on his head like this. P. Mahomes was rattled, man. You can't have it all, Patrick. I'm sorry. Like, the year that Texas Tech has a lot of success, bruh, you don't have success. You can't have it all. The years Texas Tech has been trash, Patrick Mahomes has thrived. You know what I'm saying? You see how that works? So, Patrick, you're going to be able to end the season early. Hopefully, for your sake, you could go watch Texas Tech play in the playoffs and have success, something that no one's ever seen in Lubbock before. But, yeah, Patrick, like they need to be humbled, those Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to put $100 down on I'm going to say it right now. This is a Post-it note.
Yeah, put it down.
Houston Texans are going to the Super Bowl.
Yo, D. Bradley, just water, bruh. Now, 7 o'clock tonight might be a little something different. But right now, just water. Appreciate the concern. I appreciate it.
December 9th. You want to put some on this pad?
That's all you. I'll let you have this one.
All right.
I'll let you have this one. By the way, did you get all the info for all the notes that we've taken before the season? All the sticky notes? You say
you know what?
That
you said North Carolina was going to be 9-3.
No, I said 7-5. We changed that, remember?
Oh, yeah, you changed it.
We changed it. I still wasn't close.
You said Jaden Blue would be the offensive rookie of the year. I said Ashton Genty. We both got crushed.
Yeah.
You said this will be the best year yet for Garrett Wilson. 100+ catches, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. Let's see how Garrett Wilson's doing.
I think he got hurt. So
his feelings got hurt.
No,
He's got 36 catches, 395 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's played in only 8 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got hurt. So that helps you.
Yeah, that helps me.
You said Jonte Cook, 60 catches, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Oh man.
We'll see how Jonte's doing.
He was on a good streak, and then they played your SMU Mustangs, and Uncle Elroy was talking all crazy. And after that, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, you said 60 catches, 800 yards. He got 45 catches, 549 yards. You said he'd have 7 touchdowns. He has 2.
Damn. See, I wasn't expecting Uncle to ruin. I blame the uncle.
Uncle Rico?
Yeah, Uncle Rico. Remember Uncle Rico went on the radio station for Syracuse and was hating on everybody and saying Fran Brown was an idiot and this, that, and the third. And Fran Brown crashed out too. He did some things that were very suspect and questionable, like going up to Michael Irvin after they just got boat raced by Miami, and he was like, "Don't get used to this. Don't get used to this." Fran Brown, come on, man. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Don't get used to this. You just got your ass whooped a lot. They got whooped a lot this year. So, yeah, I don't blame Jonte. It was a lot of toxic behavior in Syracuse, New York this past season.
Yeah, you got your Amari Niblack.
Oh, we hit that one.
You hit that one. You said if Rory Harmon shoots 36% from 3, Texas is winning it all.
Yo, she's shooting pretty good from 3. She doesn't take many. What's she shooting right now?
Yeah, she's doing pretty good.
She's doing really good. Shout out to Brea Cunningham, by the way. In that game against Prairie View the other night, she needed that. I think she had the 30 ball. She needed that bad because she's the only one that's been struggling this year.
Yeah, Rory's shooting 53%, or no, she's shooting 75% from 3 right now.
Look out. Look out, baby. Look out. 75%.
How about that action?
She only shoots them in big games. She doesn't shoot them when they play against these mid-majors and stuff. She's not going to shoot the 3 because she doesn't have to, and she wants to get everybody involved. But when it's a top 25 matchup and they need every basket they could get, that's when she starts shooting the 3 ball. When they were in Vegas against South Carolina at UCLA, she was knocking that thing down, baby. And then when they played against North Carolina, she hit one. So
against UCLA, she was 2 of 2 from 3. Hit all 6 of her free throws. Yeah, Rory's getting it done. Rory's getting it done.
But so Thomas Jones of the Statesman, shout out to Thomas, my dude. He put out a picture yesterday at the Mood for the Texas versus Southern game before, and there was nobody in the stands at the Moody Center. Like, it was sad, really sad. And
no one was in the stands for the Southern game?
No. And Thomas said this is the lowest attendance that he's seen since the Moody Center's been open. And Sean Miller, you got to change that, dude. Like, one thing I give Chris Beard a lot of credit for, Chris Beard made sure fans were in the stands. However he could.
He recruited the students.
Yeah, there was free something every game. Free pizza, sausage wraps, whatever, shirts. Like, there was something before every game. And that was at the Irwin Center. And then when it went to the Mood, Chris Beard continued to do the same thing before his departure. And, obviously the RT years were the RT years, but yeah, that's not good, man. It's not good at all. Like, Sean Miller, you got to turn it around. And last night, that was a good growing game. I'll admit it. Like, Mathis, he was solid, 14 for 14 from the free throw line, which Chip, he changed his free throw routine.
How about that?
Before, he would catch the ball from the ref, and immediately he would get into his dribbles. Now, he caught it. He stood there, controlled his breathing, went into whatever euphoric place that he had to go to be at peace, it took about 5 seconds before he even put the ball on the deck. And then it was money. It's crazy how a free throw routine psychologically could help a player. My dad would always tell me that because I wanted to be cool. You know what I'm saying? We all want to be cool. We all want to, do something like just extravagant, like put the ball behind your back or around the head, or, Jason Kidd, while he was wilding with his former ex-wife, remember he had the kiss to her back in the day because he had to right his wrongs. I used to do that for no reason. I used to do the Hornacek, wiping my hair, even though I ain't got no hair to wipe. Like, your free throw routine is very unique, but it has to be efficient. And whatever Mathis was doing, I don't know which coach helped with that, but that is a good move. That was a good move for him to just, hey, maybe you should take your time and just breathe, because we already talked about him being a little fatigued at times. He has to get in better shape. When you go to the line and you're huffing and puffing, control your breathing. You got 10 seconds to shoot a free throw. Now, we don't need you to take as long as Giannis used to, but get to a place to where you're comfortable at the line and you're not so much in your head, or you're not rushing. And he did that last night, and you saw the results of it. Like 14 for 14 is very impressive. So if he could continue to do that with the volume that he gets fouled at, that's just going to make Texas that much tougher on the offensive end. And they need that. They need him to make his free throws because he's one of the best options they have offensively. And most of his shots are going to come from the line because he's just such a force at 7 foot down low.
This team doesn't play good enough defense to be anything more than a bubble team this year.
Yeah.
It's too bad. I don't know if they can fix their defense the way Mathis has fixed his free throws, but they're letting teams just get way too much. I mean, last night against Southern shot 41%, shot 42% from 3. So even though Texas won by 26 points, Southern still shot it. Hell, they shot 51% in the second half.
Yeah. It's way too hard to try to hide their flaws defensively. That is really not their fault. It's just the personnel that you have. You have smaller guards, Jordan Pope, Simeon Wilcher. You have slow foot bigs, Mathis. So when he gets involved in pick and roll situations, it's hard for him to do everything that's asked for a big that's involved in those situations, like hedge, or, when he plays drop coverage, that makes the on-ball defender really have to be a good defender. And if it's somebody like Jordan Pope, who's undersized, that's tough. Cam Heide laterally isn't the best, and he's also undersized. If he's playing the power forward spot, he's only 6'7". So the only person that you feel great about defensively is Dalen Swain. That doesn't have many weaknesses there. Other than that, everybody else has some sort of weakness. Trayvon Mark, he should be a way better defender, but his offense right now, that's not a thing. So it's hard to play him, like you're not really giving us much offensively, Draymond. So we need something from you, because if you do something on offense, you can help us defensively, but we can't keep you on the court that long. So he has to find himself within this Sean Miller system, because they need Trayvon Mark. Like, he's a lot better than what he's doing, right now in this season. But yeah, I'm with you. This defense, it's not going to get much better, in my opinion. Too many flaws.
Yeah. All right.
Foul a lot.
Yeah. All right. It is, It's always a good time to head over to Cover 3. Happy hour just started, 3:30 to 6:30, and you got the $7 social hour menu. You're getting the firecracker shrimp, the same dish that Scotty Scheffler had on his Masters Champions menu for $7. Kidding me? The bacon deviled eggs, the big chicken slider. Get that with a little buffalo on it, buffalo chicken slider. You're gonna love it. Look, Cover 3's got you covered. You got basketball now almost every, well, you do have it every night, actually. So enjoy it. Don't forget about brunch on the weekends, the do-it-yourself Bloody Mary bar, the Sean Adams prime rib sandwich, the Chop House Burger. Texas Monthly calls one of the best burgers in the state of Texas. Get over to Cover 3 Anderson, Cover 3 Round Rock. Enjoy yourself. High-end food without the high-end prices. Great service, great vibe. And hey, when you're ready for the big screen of your dreams, you know our man Tom McKay, Audio-Visual Consultations, is ready for you. All you got to do is call him, 255-8678. Tom and his crew, I mean, first of all, he'll do the free consultation, and then he'll bring you the best price on big screens. And that's, what more could you want? It's like ordering a pizza, except it's a big screen TV, big enough so that you feel like you're on the sidelines at the game. That's how you deserve that. You've earned that. Treat yourself. All you got to do is call 255-8678. 255-8678. Let Tom and his crew bring everything to you. Big screen, surround sound, surveillance, electronic shades, new lighting. Got you covered. All right, Zay, for the chip shot today. People think I'm crazy. But man, about these Houston Texans. Now here's the deal. My Detroit Lions, they've had some injury issues. Terry and Arnold's on IR. I don't even know who's in the secondary for the Lions anymore. But my man Muhammad was back at defensive end, and he was getting sacks last week. So can we keep him healthy, opposite of Hutch? But the Lions, they got too many deficiencies on defense. It just hasn't been good enough. They need an off season to get things retooled, although I am going to try and get John Brown on tomorrow. But the Houston Texans, this is the best defense in the NFL. And you know what? They're showing it every week. Their defense doesn't take games off. My man Zay said it. He's never seen Patrick Mahomes so flummoxed. Patrick Mahomes looked like he was looking at a Sudoku puzzle on LSD. He was so confused going up against a Houston Texans defense. And I am riding with the Texans because it's been a up and down all around journey for this Houston Texans offense. They had everything going last year with Joe, running back from OU. Oh, hell. Zay, help me out.
Oh, Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. And then you bring in Nick Chubb. I'm like, oh, man, these guys got like an embarrassment of riches at running back. Well, Joe Mixon's been hurt. The running game's been off, but there's still time. There's still time for this Texans offense to get going. So don't count them out. Don't count them out. Houston Texans, they can get it going. I'm just telling you. Yeah, man, this is going to be wild. I'm just saying, buckle up your chin straps because the Texans are coming. I think their kickers even, kind of figured some things out. But you've got enough weapons. The defense is great. Defense has got everything. Offense can get some momentum going here. I'm just saying. It's a field goal league. The Texans can hold up in a field goal league. So let's get it going. Let's get this party started. It's time to beat up on the Arizona Cardinals. Beat up on them Cardinals. Beat up on them Pete Carroll misled Las Vegas Raiders. And then, go steal one out there at SoFi against the Chargers. And then take down my man Zay's Colts and his little girl, Carrier, say.
Hey. Respect, Carly. It's Carly.
Carly.
Wow. So disrespectful.
Do you watch Landman?
I don't. I need to. I heard it.
Because Billy Bob Thornton's wife, Allie Larder, she's a hoot.
Yo, that's my girl from Varsity Blues, right?
Yeah.
Man. Whipped
She
cream
always
bikini?
Oh yeah.
Man. Yeah. Always been a fan of hers.
Yeah, you'd like it.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan's my dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that I know I'd like it. That's my guy. Go ahead.
She always gets the name of the guy who lives with Billy Bob wrong. She calls him Neil. His name is Nathan. She's always calling him Ned. Always getting it wrong. So sorry, Carly Ursay.
Thank you. Now,
but the Texans are going to beat the crap out of her team.
Speaking of TV, where are you on the Diddy documentary? Because I'm only on. I just finished episode 2.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
You're done with it? Okay, I need to get on my grind because we gotta talk about that. Whenever I gotta wait till my wife gets back. I can't watch it without her, which pisses me off. But
that guy got into some wild stuff, and he could charm his way out of most anything. And behind closed doors, that dude was a loon.
Yeah.
Loon. Like, did you see everybody should watch this documentary. The one about Baylor basketball. It was so good. About the Carlton Dotson and Patrick Dennehy, the Dennehy murder. Disgraced. It is, Disgraced. Everybody, if you have not seen the Baylor basketball documentary, Disgraced, that came out in 2017, you will walk away from that documentary and you're not sure who killed Patrick Dennehy. Like, it could have been a hit ordered by somebody within the basketball program. Dave Bliss, the coach. I mean, you've got to watch that documentary. It'll put chills down your spine. You watch the P. Diddy documentary, you don't know if he was involved in Biggie's death and or Tupac's death. And like his career took off after Biggie died.
Yo, he had zero remorse, zero sympathy.
The way that pushing him to do shows in places he didn't need to be doing them. He didn't want to be doing them. He didn't want to be doing shows in LA. He didn't want to be doing shows, on the West Coast, but Diddy's trying to steal other guys' girls from the West Coast. Like, he's just oh man. There's a special place in hell for Diddy.
Yeah. Yo, I love that song. Every step I take.
And he got Sting to perform it.
Yo, Sting's name is tarnished. Sting had no idea.
Sting had no idea.
The whole police
He got Puff Daddy boozled.
The whole police, man. Police, the rest of the members probably look at that Sting like, bruh,
What you doing?
what you doing?
I mean, they all got paid. They all got paid for that song. But
That's true. That's true. I can't knock Sting. I would have given that song up too, the way that Puffy was stealing money from his own people to pay others.
oh my God.
But man, I love that song. But Diddy, the way he was dancing to it and stuff like that, it's dark. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's a dark documentary. Which
Yeah.
50 Cent, man. 50 Cent. I love 50. Petty, I can't even come close to the type of petty that he's on. I thought I was petty. Oh man, child's play.
Hey, you have achieved a level of reputation to where my wife said Notre Dame not playing in a bowl game, that is Zay level petty.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I bow to that. Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's get to the right call.
Let's get it. Before that, though, shout out to Covert BK, family owned and operated, been doing it for over 100 years. And if you do anything for over 100 years, it means you're good. Hell, they're great. Trust me, we know Buick Encore GX that we got from Covert BK couldn't be nicer. And if you don't want to take my word for how great Covert BK is, listen to these 5 folks of Covert BK.
I don't have to worry about shopping for mechanics to make sure it's done and done right. I come up here, I'm in, I'm out. They give me a loaner sometimes, and it's hassle-free.
If you have any questions, they'll go ahead and help you out and educate you. They're not just here just to sell you a vehicle. They're here to build a relationship.
They treat you like family, and then they make the experience what you want it to be, not what they want it to be.
Covert, born and raised in Austin,
where you are always treated like family.
Nobody beats a Covert deal. Not now, not ever. All right, Ship. So speaking of petty, former Longhorn Quentin Jammer has been out of control on Twitter for a while now. But yesterday, he had a tweet that went viral because he said, true story, in 2011, I played completely shit-faced drunk in the last 8 games. Now, I hope Quentin Jammer's trolling. He seems like a troller. If you go look at his page, Quentin Jammer's saying some wild stuff.
What's his handle?
Let me pull it up for you because it's kind of all over the place. So it's the jam _I _ am _23.
Jam _I _am. Jam I am _23.
Yep, that's him. Yeah. Just like he says something like he goes at Texas a lot. He goes at the coaching staff. He has a son. I think we've talked about that before. He has a son that I guess the coaching staff isn't recruiting, and he feels a certain way about it because he thinks Texas, they don't have enough tough guys, which I get what he's saying. We've had Daniel on. He said the same thing. Like, do they have enough football guys? So some of the things I get what Quentin Jammer says, but the way that he presents it, it's a lot. And I love Quentin Jammer, man. He's the early part of DBU. You could argue he was the best corner in Texas history. Like, Quentin Jammer could ball. But, yeah, man, he is the ultimate troller right now. And as you shake your head, I'm sure you're reading some of these tweets. You can see my man Q Jammer a little out there right now, but it is fun.
Woo.
He's a fun follow. I'll give him that. If you want to be entertained, Quentin Jammer's a fun follow.
Man, Jammer was he was such a beast as a player. He was a thumper, but he could run, he could cover, he was long. I mean, there's a reason he was, what was he drafted in the first or second round? But yeah, Jammer was
first round, 5th overall.
Yeah, I mean,
That's man.
Tough dude.
Okay, so we got to look at his 2011 stats. So he played in 15 games, 2011. He had 0 interceptions, so it's hard to get interceptions when you're shit-faced, I guess.
He had 8 pass breakups.
8 pass breakups, solid.
53 tackles.
Solid.
2 TFLs. And yeah.
Yo, those are good numbers to be drunk. I ain't gonna lie. Like if if you're drunk out there in the NFL, those are good numbers. Like I can't even hate. You know what I mean? But yeah, y'all want to know what's going on?
That was 10 years into his career, right? So he said in 2011, and what did he say in 2011?
Yep, 2011.
That he played
last 8 games.
The last 8 games.
Last 8 games.
Man.
Wow. Okay. All right. So Orlando Magic player Desmond Bain. Good player. Went to TCU. Oh, you probably remember Desmond Bain at TCU. Really good shooter. Kind of has small arms, but a good player. So this fool, they played against New York the other night. And I'm going to pull it up on Twitter. I can't play the actual video because we'll get in trouble. But if you watch him, he throws the ball at OG Anunoby and he acts like he's saving it. He grabs it and just throws it at him. He could have just taken the ball and then went down the other end to try to score. But instead, he gets it, throws it at him. As you see here, OG pushes him and says, "Why the hell are you doing that?" Desmond Bain, obviously there's more to the video, but we don't have that. Desmond Bain goes, "Hey, look, heck, tee him up. He just pushed me, tee him up." Desmond Bain ended up getting a technical foul for this, Chip, for throwing the ball at OG Anunoby. He tried to claim that he was going out of bounds.
Even though he could totally stop himself.
He tried to claim that he was falling out of bounds.
And had to throw it at him to counterbalance himself. In the biggest crock of bleep ever.
What are we doing, man?
What's the real beef between these two?
I don't think there is one. Like Desmond Bain does this. There's multiple clips because people are gonna do their due diligence and find different times where Desmond Bain did things like this. This is just what he does. Like he throws the ball at guys when they're out of bounds. I don't know, to flex on them. Like, I don't know. Because if I'm his coach, I'm like, dude, we have a player on the other team on the ground. Let's start a fast break.
Yeah.
Instead of stopping a possession and allowing the defense to get back on D just because you want to be stupid. And then he got a tech for it. So it resulted in points for the Knicks. So I'm sure this is the last time we'll see Desmond Bain do something like this. And yeah, it's pretty damn funny if you ask me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is pitiful. All right, let's open up the gym. Let's bring in Patrick and Matt. What's up, fellas?
What up, guys?
You guys?
Did you see Desmond Bain playing dodgeball with
I did. I love there's a guy who does a lip reading thing on it. And it's great because he goes through the whole process of Desmond Bain doing it. And then he's like, he pushed me. Give him a tea. Give him a tea. Push me. And they walk over. Then Tony Brothers comes over and reads the thing out. And he goes, like, unsportsmanlike act, throwing the basketball. We have cameras. I don't know if you've noticed, Desmond Bain. There's cameras here. And so he throws it. He goes, penalty on Desmond Bain. He goes, what did I do? And he goes, I was falling out of bounds. He goes, you were not falling out of bounds. And they keep going. OG walks over and goes, are we good? He goes, yeah, I was falling out of bounds. And Brothers standing behind him goes, you were not falling out of bounds. So he got fined today, though.
He got fined for it?
Yeah, so not only a technical, he also got fined for it. Yeah, because they're like, dude, this is such a bad look.
Such a bad look.
If you want to fight somebody over something, fight somebody. And then at least we can be like, they're passionate. But just throwing the basketball at people is such a bad look.
That is a bad look.
Hey, by the way, if you want to know why that Memphis Grizzlies team couldn't win anything, put him and John Morant in your backcourt and hope that those guys are sane enough to get through a season.
Yeah, that's a lot of scrambled eggs right there.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
Hey,
y'all.
Appreciate you guys.
See you tomorrow.
Welcome in here to Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patrick Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI, along with you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open, 512-222-9328. And, of course, over there on the chat, Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube. A lot to get into today, Matt. A couple more names in the transfer portal, a Texas basketball win last night, but Sean Miller's still not happy about it. More college football playoff talks or overreactions today, Matt. And then, of course, we'll get into just here in a second, the all SEC teams announced just a few hours ago. So we do know which Longhorns have been on the all SEC team now at the end of the season. But on a Tuesday afternoon, it feels like most people have settled into what the college football playoffs are, Matt, except for Notre Dame, who's still doing a tour saying how hurt they are that the ACC wanted an ACC team and not them in. But it feels like we're getting there now. So are you, as someone who also does Texas, the Aggies on SI, has that fan base calmed down and is ready to go now? Are they fully in, or is it's still uproar happening somewhere in the outside of Texas right now?
It seems like they're ready to go. They know it's a tough road. It's arguably the toughest road in the playoff, other than Miami, probably. So I think they're just happy to be in there. By the way, I just wanted everybody to see I'm wearing my Lane Kiffin shirt today. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife holding this shirt. Go get you one. Support the Rebs and their playoff push. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think everybody at Texas A&M is pretty excited just to have the home game at Kyle Field, the playoff game, and that atmosphere is going to be cool. It should be a night game. It should, but here we are. You got to worry about the NFL, and you got to make sure that Oregon and James Madison gets a better time slot. Just really impressive stuff. But I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting matchup for them for sure. I mean, Miami's a really talented team, a lot of NFL guys, Carson Beck, Ruben Bain, Malachi Toney's an insanely talented freshman. So it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I saw that CB. I don't understand it, but here we are. And I will tell you why Ryan Niblett was not first team all SEC, because KC Concepcion exists, and he did basically the same thing Ryan Niblett did this year. So they were kind of splitting hairs, I think, on that all SEC team. So
yeah, and we'll get into that in just a minute. And yeah, the Moody Center was empty last night. It's a shame to see it already get to that. That was one of the reasons why they wanted to move on from Rodney Terry and bring in a Sean Miller, because they felt that would help, get some more people and butts in seats and people get excited about Texas basketball. But the reality is, until they start winning, it's basketball, Texas. You try and say it a million times and everyone will still go, well, no, Texas could. You're like, it's winter. People don't care about basketball until January at the earliest. Just is what it is in Texas. And when it's cold out, people didn't want to go out and see it. They've been excited before. Chris Beard was very good at getting people excited. Also, the new building was excited, getting people out. Last year, you had Trey Johnson, so there's a little bit more of like a selling point of like, come see this guy who's going to be a top pick in the draft. Like I remember when Kevin Durant was there, it was harder to get tickets when Kevin Durant was there. Even though the team wasn't great, it was still, you had Kevin Durant, so you had a chance to win every game. I don't know if there's that selling point right now. It feels like you're like, come see Modest Boykatitis. And I don't know if that's the selling point that's going to get people in there. But
my guess would be no.
But, also these games are just like, we were playing teams that nobody knows the name of. If you would play somebody that was a reasonable team. Now, I remember we played Grand Canyon a few years back. That was like a game that you're like, geez. But like Grand Canyon to play, but that was the only fun part about that was Dan Thunder Marley was the coach of Grand Canyon. They just shot threes the entire game. That's all they did. But for Texas basketball, they have to figure out. We'll get more into that, I think, in hour 2, maybe at the end of hour 1. We'll get into what Texas basketball was last night. It was a game. It was a game, but I think the post-game comments from Sean Miller probably a little bit more pertinent with the game coming up on Friday against UConn and where they're going to be and what we have to look at. But, we'll start off with Texas, the players being in the SEC and being in the all-SEC teams, seeing where those teams went. We also have Heisman finalists today, Matt, which makes no shock of who your number 1 quarterback is in the SEC. And we can argue with it all we want, but he is a Heisman finalist, and that would probably make him the first-team all-quarterback in the SEC, and that's Diego Pavia. Look, he's a Heisman finalist. It's like it's hard to argue. If everybody's saying that one person should be there, I think this is the quarterbacks for me were a little bit more odd because it felt like you really to me had, Diego Pavia, who kind of was the most consistent throughout the season. And he was never like elite great. And some of these other guys probably had more elite great games than him, but he was consistent. He never really had that super bad game. Even against Texas, he had the second half in the fourth quarter, which boosted all his stats right back up. And made him, he never really finished those games in that way. So it does put him in that other area. Second team, they have a tie between Trinidad Chambliss and Ty Simpson. And your third team is Gunnar Stockton. So all of your quarterbacks there, Arch Manning doesn't make the list. Marcel Reed doesn't make the list, which I think before the Texas game, he probably had a pretty good chance to. But the Texas game kind of put the capper on people's between South Carolina and Texas, the first half of South Carolina and Texas, where he just didn't look as good of a player. That probably put it on there. He's already said he's coming back for another year. So
as if there was any doubt.
No, but it's still, there's a doubt that he could, you never know with these things with NIL now and everything else. Everyone could be in the portal every year. Everyone could just say, screw it, I'm going to the draft. You never really know until at the end of the day, someone comes out and says it. But is there anything super shocking in there, Matt? Is there anybody that you think is wildly overrated in the quarterbacks, or is that working enough?
I mean, there was a lot of good quarterback play in the SEC this year. So am I surprised that Marcel Reed didn't make it? Yes. But if you look at the guys in front of him, I get it. Like one of those guys is going to New York for the Heisman. Ty Simpson and Trinidad Chambliss both had amazing years. They're both in the playoff. I mean, Gunnar Stockton is Gunnar Stockton, man. Like he's been arguably the best quarterback in the SEC over the last few weeks. So had Marcel Reed not fallen off in the first half against South Carolina and played very poorly against Texas, maybe he's ahead of Gunnar Stockton. I've seen a lot of Aggies get mad that he's not first team all SEC. It's like, well, there's a Heisman finalist there, so we're all right. Well, we're good. All these things are voted on by the media.
Yes.
And it's just, who cares? It is what it is. Like you could argue that Arch Manning should be in that list before Marcel Reed at this point, because he had a better year.
These are voted by the coaches, right?
Oh, is this one voted by the coaches?
I believe this is voted by the head coaches.
Okay. Well, still, like you could argue that Arch Manning had a better year than Marcel Reed. He's not on there either. You don't see Texas fans bitching about it.
And I think too, like Arch Manning makes a perfect example. If this is voted on by head coaches, the head coaches who watched him play before in early Arch Manning, early in the season, are not going to put him on this list.
Mm-hmm.
But the guys maybe where Kirby Smart may look at it differently, or Mike Elko, or, I don't know who's voting at Arkansas. Don't know if Bobby Petrino got that vote or not.
Probably not.
If you look at those teams at the end of the season, they may be more on the line of Arch being, wanting to be in one of those lists. But early in the season, I get why a head coach, if you played us early, there's really, you're like, he wasn't playing that great then. He was still improving. He wasn't one of those top ones. But yeah, this is voted by the coaches. So it makes sense. This is the guys that they were looking out for, the guys you game plan the most. No surprises that there's no running backs. Ahmad Hardy, Q and Lacey are the running backs for the first team. On your second team, Jaden Ball gets on there. Deshaun Bishop and Mike Washington Jr. all are on their second team running backs. And third team is Nate Frazier and Jeremiah Cobb. So you get 7 guys on there. But no surprise that Texas is not going to have any running backs on there. Maybe a little bit of a surprise at the wide receiver that Texas couldn't get anybody, but I don't know if they really, Ryan Wingo's second team. And that's kind of like, even that one feels maybe a little high for what he did, and his ceiling was for what he did. That may have been more of, we know we had a game plan for him every week, and we did go out of there and do it. I think maybe if the media voted on it, he may have not been there, but it shows you what coaches still think about Ryan Wingo.
When he actually catches the football, he's a really good player. He just had some issues, securing the ball this year. I think that improves next year. He's going to be a really good player. He's going to play in the NFL for a long time. The coaches know it. If you watch him play, you know it. He was just a true sophomore this year, so there's plenty of opportunity for him to grow and improve, and I think he will. Is second team a little high? Probably. Who's on the list behind him? I think that's the
third team was Brennan Thompson and Mario Craver.
Yeah, okay, so this list is a little odd. Mario Craver was arguably the best receiver in the SEC this year outside of Cam Coleman and Casey Concepcion.
Yeah, Casey Concepcion was first team. Cam Coleman, I don't believe, made it. Cam Coleman not on the list.
Yeah, and that's weird.
You know what, though? Good job, coaches. Hey, you know what that is? Everyone wants him to transfer. The coaches, hey, leave some of these guys off so they transfer away.
Hey, every time I see a transfer portal rumor pop up or alert pop up on my phone, I'm like, is it Cam Coleman time?
Is it Cam
so
Coleman
I think
time?
I think it might happen. Either that or they're gonna throw a boatload of money at him.
We do know that Texas does pull home some other names on there. I think one of the more shocking ones, that Texas has 2 offensive linemen on this list.
I'm not surprised by Trevor Guzman and DJ Campbell being on there.
I'm a little surprised because the entire narrative through the entire season and everything else, and I get Trevor Guzman should have been on that list. DJ Campbell, I get as an NFL player, and so he gets on that list. If you looked at this team and said, what was their biggest flaw the entire season? You go, O-line. And then to still have 2 players make it is somewhat surprising to me. You may have thought the narrative would have taken it and knocked them off and not had 2 of them on there. Gooseby would have been a little bit lower than he ended up being, which he's a first team all SEC. And DJ Campbell is third. I think they're right. I think those are decent. You're fine putting those in there. But at the same part, I'm a little bit more shocked that there was not more pushback on we can't put their 2 guys in there, or we're not voting Texas offensive linemen, because as a whole, the O-line was just not as good this year.
No,
and I agree. I get Repeat Jackson. You're 100% right. It tells you how much it's true of the weakest link on an offensive line can destroy your offensive line.
Yeah, for sure. If you look at PFF grades, which I know that those aren't the end all be all for how well a player is playing, because I am with a lot of the people who detract from them on the internet. I don't know how they watch every single snap of every single player in every single game with TV copy and then tell me that this is how this player performed.
Yes.
But in terms of PFF grade, he's the second highest rated interior offensive lineman in the SEC. So, I get it. I think you're right, though. When one part of that offensive line is really, really bad, it's really hard to make up for it elsewhere, and it puts a strain on the rest of the line. So, and let's be honest, that line played a lot better over the last 3 weeks. Really over the last 4 weeks in terms of pass protection. So it is what it is. I expect DJ Campbell to have a very good NFL career.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I understand all that. It's just, it was more surprising. Manny Muhammad is your second team DB. First team is Michael Taff on that list as well. No shocker that Michael Taff and the respect he gets around the league is showing there. Interesting one, though. Anthony Hill, second team All SEC. Your first team linebackers are CJ Allen from Georgia, Xavier Atkins from Auburn, and Josiah Trotter from Missouri.
Well, that's weird. I don't I don't buy that at all.
Torian York was third string, by the way, third team.
Yeah, the two best linebackers or the three best linebackers in the SEC are Torian York, Anthony Hill, and I would argue probably CJ Allen. Maybe they're knocking Anthony Hill for missing the last couple of games. That's all I can think of, because I don't think there was a bigger difference maker on defense for any team in the SEC than Anthony Hill was for Texas.
I don't either.
I think maybe Colin Simmons.
Yeah, I think sometimes, statistically he doesn't get put in that realm because he is dropping in cover, because he's doing so many different things and he's trying to pick up where, covering holes where other people aren't and doing so many other things. But to me, that's somewhat of a slight from the coaches to maybe, I don't know why those other guys would have been put above them. I don't know if it was just such a split in the linebackers. It doesn't say how many votes everybody got. But it does seem crazy to me that if you're going to put three linebackers, that he's not one. He's the fourth best linebacker in SEC is crazy to me, because he's not. That's blatantly untrue. So they're saying whatever play, maybe it was a game or two that they looked at and said that he wasn't the best in. Maybe it was missing the last couple of weeks of action. I don't know. But that one to me is probably one of the more glaring ones, more so even than Ryan Niblett. Because I get Ryan Niblett not being first team, but that is a one person thing. So you got one return specialist on each team, right? So him and Casey Concepcion are somewhat interchangeable, and Casey Concepcion only lost one game, and Casey Concepcion is going to the playoffs, and that probably had a lot more to do with it than Ryan Niblett. I think that probably had more to do with it than anything else. Vicari Swain being the third one is also a little bit. I wouldn't have necessarily gone with Vicari Swain from South Carolina as my third one either. I may have gone with Zachariah Branch in that one as my third one, because again, and this is just looking at it of if I'm putting together my all-star team of who I want to play my kick returners, those are the three guys I'm calling.
More than likely, I'm calling Zachariah Branch. I mean, punt returns, Ryan Niblett had 4 less returns for 12 less yards than Casey Concepcion. They both had 2 touchdowns. There's not a lot of guys that qualified for kick return leaders this year. I don't think that played much of a factor into it, to be honest. Vicari Swain had 3 touchdowns on punt returns, so I kind of get it. But again, it's interchangeable. It's not really here's what I think.
Yes.
I think Ryan Niblett probably should have gotten the edge because the 2 punt returns that he had for touchdowns were the biggest plays in both of those games that resulted in a win. That's the only explanation that I would give for Ryan Niblett, being snubbed a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's fine.
Yeah, that he had 2 massive, massive plays.
Oh, really?
Well, didn't see that one.
Breaking news on Open Gym.
Breaking
Texas
news.
Longhorns have fired running back coach Chad Scott. We thought there was going to be some turnover, Patrick.
We did. There's another name leaving out of there. Thank you, CB, best honorary producer in the history of Austin radio, bringing us some breaking news. But yeah, that is but outside of all that, yeah, and then Colin Simmons is of course first team as well. You cannot not put Colin Simmons first team as a defensive lineman. Him and Cassius Howell are leading the way up there with Zion Young and R. Mason Thomas as your first team defensive lineman. No big shocker on that one whatsoever to bring them in on that one. But that is who you've got for Texas in their listing. But yeah, breaking news then that Texas parting ways with Chad Scott as they're starting to go into the mode. We can also mention that Aaron Joe, the former player development or general manager or scout for Georgia Tech that Texas brought in a year or two ago, has been rumored to be being hired as a general manager for North Texas now.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been moving up the ranks pretty quickly. Aaron Joe is a guy that I believe is one of the biggest pieces of what the reason why they hired Aaron Joe was, again, that connection to Georgia coming from Georgia Tech. You'll see this staff will try to keep some connection to every state of Florida and Georgia and Louisiana, and you just try and keep guys around. So it'll be interesting when they hire their next coaches and whoever switches out, who they try to get that keeps that really good connection to the high school coaches in Atlanta, because that was a lot of Aaron Joe, was being a guy who was connected to all the high schools and everybody in Atlanta. Wish him the best. He's a good scout. He's a good hire. But it looks like he's going to be moving on as well. And so now if Chad Scott is being let go, and there could be a number of reasons for that. You do get a top recruit, but I don't know. I think that there's plenty of reasons of why you get rid of somebody at the end of the season, that maybe this was brewing. Maybe there's a ton of reasons. I don't want to speculate anything and say anything bad about a guy that I don't know. But we did know the running game wasn't where we wanted it to be. And, in that goes on the offensive line, but that could also go into CJ Baxter leaving and saying, man, CJ Baxter really regressed and Trey Wisner didn't get, we were hoping that these guys improved to another level. And it doesn't feel like Christian Clark was ready. It didn't feel like James Simon was ready. And I know it's hard to do, but you've already had two running backs leave the program, and CJ Baxter and Jared Gibson this season. Terrible, no running work. And I get a lot of that's offensive line. But I could see why there's some reasons football-wise, too. You might sit there and say, this is a good experiment. Neil Brown vouched for you, and Neil Brown ain't here anymore. He's taking another job. So, we're just going to part ways. And there's most likely somebody they have in mind already if they're doing this.
Well, I think there's a couple of things that have to do with this. Number one, I feel like they're probably kind of trying to change their identity a little bit at running back.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of personnel, but in the way that they run the football. So maybe they just want to bring in some fresh blood and change the way that they do things. And that's fine. They obviously took a hit, or maybe not a hit, but it seems like a step down from Tashard Choice to Chad Scott. So that was a big loss for them, not just in terms of a running back coach, but as a recruiter. So maybe they want to find somebody who's a little bit better of a recruiter in that spot. I think that maybe they already have somebody in mind.
I guess.
Repeat. I think you're onto something there. I don't know who it is, but I will say there is a very, very good running back coach who is available right now because LSU has a new head coach. His name's Frank Wilson. He's one of the best recruiters in the country. He's done a really good job coaching running backs for a really long time. Maybe they have their eyes on him. I don't know. There are some other names around the country that you could look at. Tony Alford at Michigan, Derek Nix at Auburn. I mean, they obviously just got a new head coach. I don't know what Derek Nix's status is there right now. Maybe they're going to keep him on. I'll have to look. Dalen McCullough at Notre Dame. Carlos Loughlin at Ohio State. I know Ole Miss is hanging on to Kevin Smith, but maybe they bring back Stan Drayton, CB. Who knows? Interesting though, the timing with this. That they're running backs entering the portal in CJ Baxter, and they already lost Jarrett Gibson. Fire the running back coach. Seems like they're trying to completely rebuild the structure of that room in every way. So I guess we'll see who it is. I would love if they hired Frank Wilson. I just don't know how realistic that is.
Yeah, no, I got you on that. Yeah, I was looking at Jabbar Jalouk as well, but he looks like he's already got another job lined up. But that was just in the sense of how well they've recruited Florida running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to take the guy who couldn't take those guys and recruit them away from you, but it looks like he's either going to end up at Arkansas or Kentucky. But and Stan Drayton, Stan Drayton did just get fired as well as a head coach. So he is available as well. They could go back to Stan Drayton. My guess would be that Matt's closer, that they wouldn't go backwards. They're trying to go forward, be my guess. But if you do want to bring in a guy, Stan Drayton is a really good. And they cannot fire Kyle Flood. But Kyle Flood, I know the offensive line wasn't where we wanted it. Kyle Flood would be hired by Lane Kiffin or anybody else within a day of being fired by Texas. He would be hired somewhere else. Like, he's one of the best O-line coaches. He's a great recruiter. I get this season wasn't there. I wouldn't get rid of him right away. I would not get rid of that. And Jeff Banks, again, you're not getting rid of Jeff Banks over the middle. And by the way, our special teams wasn't bad this year.
It was really good.
Bad was 2 years ago. Our special teams was really good this year. So those guys are safe. Those guys are fine.
Well, listen, I want to caution everybody. I've heard a lot of people be frustrated with Kyle Flood because of the way the offensive line played this year. I will caution you very heavily. Kyle Flood is not only the best offensive line coach in the country, he's the most sought-after offensive line coach in the country. He's the best offensive line recruiter in the country. And there's a reason that he gets invited to speak at all these different coaches' clinics and teach NFL people about developing offensive line and do all of these different things. People seek his knowledge. People want to know. They want more of Kyle Flood all of the time. Now, does that mean he's going to return to Texas? I don't know. Maybe he finds another job somewhere else where he has a different, like a full-time offensive coordinator position, or he gets a pay bump or something. But you're more than likely not going to find somebody who knows more about offensive line and development and getting players into the NFL and recruiting top-tier offensive linemen than you will find in Kyle Flood. So you can wish it all you want. If that does happen, I don't think you're going to be too happy about the results.
No, and by the way, we just said, put 2 guys on the all-SEC teams. There's still 2 offensive linemen on that all-SEC team, and Trevor Gooseby and DJ Campbell. Brandon Baker was a much better player at the end of the season. We all saw Brandon Baker develop into a better player. Cole Hudson wasn't bad at left guard. He was just really, really bad at center. So we look at all of that and go, and Connor Robertson played better at the end of the season. Like, a lot of those pieces started to play better. I would say I agree that you should try and go out there and find a couple of meaner guys for that offensive line, a couple guys who want to punish some other players. Like, I think we see that with Alabama right now. Is Alabama, like, you take Tyler Booker off that offensive line of Alabama, and the type of guy Tyler Booker was at Alabama, and I love to see their face. I'd love to see their face when they lose their love of the game of football. That's a dude who wants to run the football. He doesn't really, he pass protects, but he wants to run the football. Texas has a lot of guys who are form and everything else. They're not guys who are getting in there and necessarily pushing the ball forward. They're not necessarily those mean dudes that do want to punish other players for playing football, for even daring to try and go against them. And so they've got a lot of guys to pass pro, not as many guys to run. I'd like you to attack in the portal some guys to try and go out there and bring some of that nastiness to the offensive line and help Kyle Flood teach that to the players without having to teach them to do illegal things. And I mean, like penalties, not off the field illegal, on the field illegal.
Yeah, I would be really cautious about blaming Kyle Flood for everything that went wrong with the Texas offensive line this year. I think that was bad personnel decisions in the offseason and not finding some more experience to put in there. I think that he had a say in what happened, but I don't think he had the final say in what happened. So I wouldn't blame that all on him. And Joey, I disagree with that. The only team that only two teams you couldn't get a push on this year or last year were Georgia and Ohio State, and nobody was getting a push on Georgia and Ohio State the last 2 years. The majority of those defensive lines from those two teams are already in the NFL and already making noise in the NFL.
And in all reality, go look at the NFL. There's pass blockers and there's run blockers, and very few teams have both. It's just really hard to have a team that does both well. Like, yeah, I always remember the Cowboys back in the day. People would think they had a great O-line, and then Romo would get sacked. And you're like, no, they have a great run blocking O-line. They don't necessarily have a great pass blocking O-line. Just kind of standard. People are either really good with footwork and really good of keeping your balance, or they're good at being mean sons of bitches who want to hurt the player in front of them. So usually the two sides of the coin. Some guys can do both. Those guys make a ton of money. Everybody else is kind of, you're trying to find guys and mix and match to make a line that works. And Texas has recruited fundamentally sound pass blockers. That's who they've recruited. So if we want to get mad at Cal Flood for the fact that Sark and the recruiting and the scouting staff are specifically targeting pass blockers instead of run blockers, that's not a Cal Flood problem. That is a problem of an overall arcing plan of what your team is scouting and developing. So you can get mad at that because I think that is a legitimate beef to say you got to get some meaner guys on that offensive line, but they're just not recruiting and going after those guys as much. And they're really trying to bring in guys that are really good pass pro guys. They're trying to bring in that type of player, really big humans, but not necessarily the type of guy where sometimes you get a guy who maybe is a little bit smaller, but that makes him more of a menace to society because like a Diego Pavia, which goes, I will do anything to be on this team. Sometimes those guys are really good pass or run blockers because they just get into it and pump their legs and get low. We just haven't recruited those guys. That's a philosophical issue, not a coaching issue as much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Joe, I agree. We couldn't do. I'm with you on that one. I think overall, once we got to the end of the season, we got to see a little bit more of what this offensive line was supposed to be. They missed. Like I'm not trying to make an excuse that this year was acceptable because it wasn't. But at the same point, I've always been much more of the mindset. Go tell me who we're hiring before you tell me who we're firing. Because if you want to get rid of Kyle Flood and Jeff Banks and you want to get rid of the whole staff, that's cool. Sark's probably going to be here another year or two before he takes an NFL job. We'll restart. We'll not be close to a national championship for another 7 or 8 years. Or we could try and win next year. I would prefer to try and win next year. That's just me, though. Some people I know want to just restart.
Texas has had 5 offensive linemen drafted in the last 4 years. 3 of them this past year, and 6 of those guys, like they have 6 guys that are in the NFL under Kyle Flood over the last couple years. He does a really good job in it. I don't think that it's his. Sam Pittman's not coming to Texas. Maybe he's an analyst or something, but he does a really, really good job at development. And it's not all his fault that they decided that the program overall decided not to spend money on the transfer portal at the offensive line position.
Yeah. No,
he did what he could.
Yeah.
To patchwork that offensive line.
Consider Cowboys, no. But here's the other thing I'll say, though, in the reality of these comments is that if Kyle Flood wanted to be a play caller in an OC, he could be next year, without a doubt in my mind. because somebody would bring him in to be an offensive line coach and offensive coordinator. Like someone would give him that. As long as you're going to bring us offensive linemen and do that, we will bring you in. So I think that we'll see some more of that. As far as poaching our position coaches, we now know Chad Scott is out. That one just broke earlier in the show. Thanks, CB, for bringing that up. Outside of that, you assume there will still be some people. I'd be curious about Baker, that he's had some success on that defensive line. If there's some more people that go after him now. I know some people are not high on him, but I think he's done a great job of bringing some guys up in those last couple of years. So I don't know if Baker is going to be somebody that people will look after. But outside of that, I don't know in the secondary right now there's anybody that would necessarily be there. Chris Jackson's another interesting one at wide receiver that he could get poached for the NFL again, depending on where he's at. He came from the NFL level. So depending on where he's at, he may say, okay, I've had my fun in recruiting and everything else. It's time to go. I don't have any inclination of that. He's been recruiting well still. But I don't know. There's always going to be people coming after yours. The question is, like, is it a thing where somebody really, really wants to go be an OC or wants to move up, basically, and they're not going to be able to do it at Texas? That's normally what you have. That's where a Blake Gideon or somebody else goes. There's just too many people in front of me. I'm not going to get there, so I'll go somewhere else and maybe come back later. But outside of that, there's always going to be phone calls. There's always going to be people talking about it. Texas has at least the amount of money that they're not really worried about losing anybody they don't want to. But if there's someone's offering them a better job, it's hard to get them to stay.
Anwar Richardson just tweeted something very, very interesting to me.
Okay.
This isn't Anwar reporting. Anwar Richardson of Orange Bloods, for anybody who doesn't know. One of the best reporters on the Texas beat. He tweeted this just a minute ago. This isn't him, saying it's going to happen, but the idea of Rashad Samples for Texas in the running back room. His recruiting chops are unbelievable. He helped Oregon sign DeCorian Moore, Jalen Lott, Jordan Hudson, Tadarian Ball, among others who are all elite players. He has been the running backs coach for SMU. He was already a wide receivers coach at Texas in 2018, so he does have a connection to the program. He was a running backs coach for the LA Rams in 2022. And right now he's the assistant head coach and running backs coach for Oregon. And he has been since 2024. That would be a really interesting one to me because I think he's one of the top recruiters in America and one of the top, running back coaches in America.
Yeah, I mean, so he was a name we went after before Chad Scott.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, how he got his assistant head coach title was Texas making the run at him. So I don't know. He has also never stayed anywhere for very long.
Yeah.
So I think you'd have to offer him something pretty good to come in as running back coach. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to have that. I don't know if you bring in Rashad Samples and give him play calling. I don't know if he's the guy that you'd want to do that with.
No, but
I mean, like, I'm thinking of opportunities to leave Oregon and come to Texas. You have to give him something. You have to dangle the carrot because Oregon's got money too.
Well, yeah, here's my pitch for that. We said throughout the year that we thought Kyle Flood had too much on his plate with being the sole offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Maybe you offer Rashad Samples a co-offensive coordinator position, running backs coach, and assistant head coach or something. Like some kind of combination of that. You give him a big pay bump.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it because, like, if you look at Rashad Samples, he was at Texas in 2018, but he was a student assistant for 2 years at Houston, Texas for 1 season, SMU for 1 season. Actually, sorry, he was SMU for 3 seasons, but he moved up every year. They had given him a new title every single year. Then he was with the Rams for a season. Then he was with Arizona State for a season, and now he's been in Oregon for 2 seasons. So he doesn't really stick around, and I think in Oregon he got the assistant head coach the second year. So basically, unless you're keeping around, which I think that also falls into when Sark hires people, he normally wants people that may be more long-term. hints of Jeff Banks, hints of Kyle Flood, hints of PK, guys that are very loyal to Sark, and Sark is very loyal back to, which is kind of one of those non-starter questions for me always when we talk about firing guys like that and let's take the emotion out of it. You can't. That's what this is. And I know none of us are in the room with them, so none of us have that full piece. We can get mad at all we want, but Sark ain't getting rid of his guys unless there's a catastrophic reason. And I think Rashad Samples would be a really good pickup. I just don't really see it happening. I think that he's got what he wants at Oregon, and if he wants to move up, I think it would be to play calling. That's just how I assume his next move is. So co-OC could be that, but it feels like if he does that, it's for one season.
Yeah, maybe. Look, I'm not saying it's going to happen.
No,
I'm just like, in response to Sooner Cowboys, I wouldn't say that Texas isn't going to get anybody that they want. If they want somebody, they're going to have a really good shot to get him. I don't care who it is. So it's just something to think about. I don't think Anwar tweeted that for no reason. I think that they're probably going to give him a call and see what he says.
Oh, yeah, because he was a big candidate when Tashard Choice left. I know for a fact that he was somebody that they were really, really high on. Of course, his dad is the coach at Duncanville. He has a ton of ties to Dallas football, which is one of the big reasons you want to bring him in. It's one of the reasons he's there. And so there is the line between that as well, Matt. When you keep giving him more and more jobs, that maybe this is all about recruiting more than it is about development. At what point do you walk that line? And so that's the question is, was Oregon's running game so good this season that we go, that's the guy we got to bring in because the running game was so great? Or do you want to bring him in because, hey, he's got good ties? At what point does that position outweigh the other? And I can't tell you if he's not, because again, I don't follow Oregon well enough to sit there and say, man, what a great job he's done. And he's never been anywhere long enough to give him that track record where you go, oh, he had a running back stable for years. He's just never been around long enough to have that. So that's why it becomes a little bit harder to go, we're giving you all of this, but one of the main reasons is because he's a great recruiter. But we just said we're talking about those things. That at the end of the day, is he a great coach? Is he a great developer of talent? Or is he just a great recruiter? I can't tell you he's not. I can tell you I know he's a great recruiter. The other side of that is the question, but Oregon's kept him now for 2 seasons. And yeah, it'll be a question to see if he was going to be able to go in there and that's really what you wanted to go. Rashad Samples that's what he's most known for, is he's a really great recruiter. And he's kind of moved up. Now he went to the Rams as well for a season. So you're not recruiting in the NFL. So there has to be something. There has to be something to it for what he's done. So it's a really interesting name, though, Matt. It is a very interesting name, and I'm sure we'll see a few more of those. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they called Tashard Choice back. It wouldn't surprise me if they just went, so you really happy in Detroit? How's this NFL thing going? Just seeing how the NFL's going. Do you enjoy working with those guys as much? Is it as much fun? Or you think you're going to move up? Do you want to, take something different? I think those are calls you make. And then, you kind of move down the list. And we know last year you had to move down the list till you got to Chad Scott. Not a shot at Chad Scott. He was still a really good candidate. He was a former OC. And the dying days of the Neil Brown era or post-Neil Brown era. And a very liked guy across college football, a very good coach. But he wasn't necessarily the big name hire that you could have gotten earlier on. And that was, losing Tashard Choice and bringing in somebody like a lot of the guys they brought in, because, again, this was also because of the playoffs. So you're in a little bit better spot this year that you couldn't really hire your new coaches until most of the other coaching carousel had gone through.
Yeah.
Because you were, your guys were coaching with you through January. So I think that one ends up being more of a, like Chad Scott maybe was man, you really were our 7th choice. And there was no one else. We had to get somebody in that room immediately. And we think you're a really good coach, but we're Texas and we think, we're trying to win a national championship and you're maybe not the national championship coach yet. Maybe in a few years you will be.
Yeah. And like I said, it could be that, or it could be that they're just shifting their philosophy a little bit. I don't know. I just I know that Oregon ranked 14th in rushing this year. They were really good. I know he can coach the position. I know he's a really good recruiter. It is interesting to see to think about the direction they're going to take here, whether it's going to be more about development or more about recruiting. I think that this Texas team, though, in terms of recruiting, like the recruiters that they have, it kind of took a hit after last year because you lost Tashard Choice, you lost Blake Gideon, and those were two of your top guys. So maybe you need to bring in another all-star recruiter, like Rashad Samples. I don't know. And Joey, I would be surprised if Neto comes back. He walked on senior day, and I believe he's a sophomore or a junior. It kind of indicated to me that he's at least thinking about leaving. And given the way that he just kind of disappeared on the depth chart this year, I'd probably be surprised if he's back.
Yeah. And Joey, I get that, but if you're going to look through it through a lens of only one school matters, then we can't have a rational discussion about everything. Like every team is trying to compete. Lots of teams have money. Lots of teams are trying to hire these great coaches. I get it. I want Texas to be the best, but rationally, we have to say we're not the only option. We're not everyone's favorite option. So I think if you, let's just say this is a complete non-starter for me, Joey. There is not a chance in the world that Steve Sarkisian, under his own power, after one season of 8 games of bad O-line play, is going to fire one of his friends and a guy he brought from Alabama. It's not happening. So you can yell it at the wall until you want, but I can tell you it is not happening this season. Jeff Banks ain't gone either. Unless they choose to leave, Sark is being loyal to them like they've been to him. It's just the way it is.
I think that's fine. Because
there's
something to be said for I think there's something to be said for continuity.
Yeah.
Texas has been really successful over the last few years largely because of continuity on the coaching staff. And I think that it's Sark's goal to continue that as long as he possibly can. And you can trade out some of these other position coaches that come in and out, like, corner coach, like the cornerbacks coach or tight ends coach or something like that. But when it comes to the core of this coaching staff, it has been, and I think it probably will be for a while, Steve Sarkisian, Kyle Flood, Pete Kwiatkowski, and Jeff Banks. And then the things around that just kind of change and mold to improve. I don't think this is going to be.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I don't think this is going to be the last change you see on the coaching staff either. But in terms of the 4 main guys, I just find it really hard to believe that they're going to make a change.
Yeah, I agree. I think the craziest part would be, the most shocking would be if they did really take a swing at somebody and Sark says, I am stepping away from play calling. I think that's a legit thing that could happen. We know that he's thought about it. I think that also could go to AJ Milwee.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would legit not be surprising. Joey, I get you. I vehemently disagree with you on that, but you're free to have that opinion. But I disagree with you that you should hire people you trust and work well with, as opposed to walking into an office where you just yell at each other all day and then everybody leaves every season. Just my opinion, though.
Ohio State has a lot of continuity on that staff.
Yeah, Brian Hartline just left after how many years?
And Lachlan, the running backs coach.
Yeah.
Like they've got a lot of continuity there. I get that people are frustrated after what happened this year.
I get it. But
the fact of the matter is Texas does have one of the best coaching staffs in the country.
They sure do.
And that won't happen, Joey. I can tell you that right now.
They're going to have to rebuild it at SEC and LSU too. You got to it's not easy. That's what I can say. It's not easy to win national titles. That's a very obvious thing. That's why teams don't have 30 of them, because it's not easy to do. Go ahead.
Real quick. According to Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports, Jabbar Jaluki is also now among the possibilities for the Texas running backs coach opening. He was Florida's running back coach and associate head coach for the last 4 years. This is interesting to me. This is very, very interesting because Florida has a running back.
Matt, why do you think I brought his name up?
Yes, Jaden Ball. If you are able to pry away Jaden Ball's running back coach and bring him to Texas and just say, hey, we'll throw a lot of money at you. We need you, buddy. That could certainly help move that situation along. Just an interesting idea.
No, I agree. I think the thing, and I don't know how many years he was at Florida.
4
years. So I think the main thing that would detract me from him, right, as a recruiter, was how many players we stole from Florida. How many running backs we stole from Florida.
But Florida was in the conversation for him.
They were, but they didn't get him. So there may be a part of me to go, well, how, like, I'd ask CJ Baxter and Jared Gibson, who are both now gone, and be like, hey, how close? Like, what do you think about that guy? Because we're talking to him, but I would love to find out if those Florida guys were interested. But I do like the reason why I brought his name is because we have recruited Florida heavily, especially at the running back position. And so looking there, knowing that they have a coaching change, it seems like somebody else you could throw into that name. I did see another tweet that someone else brought up Stan Drayton's name. His name's going to come up in this. We can see a lot of things of, like, because the two reporters right now, there's no real news on who they're going to get. The question is, who do these reporters have good relationships with? So if you had a good relationship with Rashad Samples because you knew him when he was on staff earlier, or you knew him covering high school in Dallas, you want him to be on the Texas coaching staff because you already have a pre-existing good relationship with him and you like him and you believe he's a good coach. So you want to bring those people back. I get it. I think Rashad Samples will be a really, really good hire for Texas. Once we go down, Stan Drayton could be a very good hire. I have to go look and see how interested he is in that job and going backwards after being a head coach at Temple. And that's kind of, we talk about Sam Pittman. How much are these guys that are former head coaches really invested once they go back to be a position coach? It's hard to do. It's hard to take that far of a step back.
Sure.
So sometimes it's just really hard to go, I was running my own program and now I'm just showing up to work. And it's hard to show up to work and try and advance again that way. It's just difficult to do. So we'll do that. We do want to mention too that we did get it. I got 3 more names that hit the portal today, Matt. Does that sound right to you? We saw Santana Wilson, the DB, didn't really get playing time. This feels like another one. You're kind of buried on the depth chart. They're bringing in more young guys behind you that are probably going to pass you. Best of luck to Santana Wilson. Good kid. But that man makes sense. Aaron Butler, a name you mentioned yesterday. Again, just seeing so many good young wide receivers stepping up. And you can kind of tell, like, is it going to be a Parker Livingston guy who comes up and finds his niche and then is able to do that thing really well and get his place? Aaron Butler just never really found his thing that he did better than everybody else. And then you just have these great wide receiver recruiting classes coming in. You go in the portal and get him. He sees his opportunities dwindling, so he's going to hit the portal. And then Connor Stroh, which is somebody that we had really high hopes for, just didn't work out this year on the line. They tried to put him in. He would do well. He didn't just have the mobility that you, especially for a younger guy, you'd really want to see the mobility be a little bit better and could kind of get blown past at times. And so once he got demoted and put back on that bench, you'd really love to keep a Connor Stroh and give another year of development and see if you can get him to be. And like, because Connor Stroh felt like a guy that you thought maybe could be one of those nasty guys we were talking about earlier, right? That you thought, all right, well, this guy, maybe his pass pro won't be there, but we can kind of help him out with double teams and we can do that. And maybe with Cole Hudson not being able to call protections, it didn't do well for him on that, being the left guard. But at the same time, it's like he wasn't also just pushing guys around in the run game, and you need to be able to do one or the other. And so, you'd hope with another year he could have been one of those nasty guys. unfortunately doesn't seem like it's going to work out. He's going to go try and find another place where they want that big, scary man to be on their offensive line.
Yeah, I was impressed with Connor Stroh against Ohio State because I think that they took a running approach to that game, and that's where he thrives in terms of in between the tackles running. And once they kind of got away from that, and once they started passing the ball a little bit more, he really started to struggle. So I think that he's just not really a fit for what they're trying to do anymore.
Yeah.
He is a talented player. He is very big, very physical. And I think that if he ends up in the right spot, he'll land on his feet. But I just don't think that he's, a very good fit for what they're trying to do going forward into the future. Joey, I appreciate you listening, man. I get it. It was a frustrating year. Take a chill pill. Texas is going to be in good shape. No reason to trash Mac Brown. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be fine, man. It's going to be fine. 7 people have won a national championship in the last 12 years.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I get it. We all want to find that way to get there.
And one of them cheated.
One of them cheated. This is what I'll say. I don't have all the magic answers, and maybe you're right, Joey. Joey, I've been watching football in Texas since 95, 96. I started covering it probably around 2003, 2004. That's when I started covering. I've been in radio for the last 10 years in Austin talking about Texas football. So I get it. I get your disappointment. I really, really do. But again, I'm jaded to it. But I'm jaded in the sense of I watch a lot of football, and I have a lot of people that I work for that are with other programs, and all these other programs will tell you just how jaded they are as well. And you realize there's one national championship and about 30, 35 teams who every single year think they have a shot at it. And you're one of them. But one in 50 chance maybe every year to win that title. It's not going to happen every year. I get this last year sucks. So, I fully understand it because I have friends, Joey, just like this, who are very upset right now. But, if you're running a business, this is the way I always put it. If you're running a business and you come under 1 month, right? You're under your budget. Do you fire every manager on staff and get rid of everybody because you go, well, we didn't quite hit our budget? Because we need to be ahead of our budget we need to be ahead of our projections every year. We're firing everybody. Or do you say, oh, maybe we missed on a guy. Maybe we missed over here. Or maybe we brought in the wrong product. Maybe those things are the problem. We can fix that because now we have more knowledge and we can all work together. Now, if you have a year of down, some people got to go. But we're not talking about a mass change. It is big. Joey, this is the problem, is you're not calling a spade a spade. You're calling a spade because you are only looking at Texas football. You are saying that every team should fire half their staff every single year. And that's insane. You're saying head coaches should only last 2 or 3 years, and if they don't hit, that's the problem.
Yeah,
so I appreciate you, Joey. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your the love for the team of Texas football. Until you are willing to be Cody, or what's his name? What's the Texas Tech dude name, Matt? Cody something?
I don't remember.
The billionaire investor. Until you're willing to be the billionaire investor for Texas Tech and walk into that office and go to CDC and go, here is $1 billion that I am handing over for you to hire the best coaches, the best players, cheat all we can, and we're going to win the next 2 titles, and then we're going to go downhill after that, because that's about what you'll make with $1 billion in today's game. It's tough. It's tough. That's the reality. It's very, very tough. Patrick, hey, Joey, I get the standard. I don't think you live in reality right now, Joey. I don't think you do.
Yeah, I'm really sorry that Sark is not, and that Mac Brown was not Nick Saban or Kirby Smart.
Yeah. There's
only 2 of those guys. And there's 2 other head coaches who have a chance to be that. Ryan Day is one of them. I don't know if there's another one, actually, the more that I think about it.
Oh, it's Curt Cignetti. We all know it's Curt Cignetti.
Curt Cignetti, we'll see.
All right, wait, we'll save that for overreactions, Matt. We'll save that for overreactions. My Kurt Signetti. I may have something for that.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's a lot of moaning and complaining because Texas isn't where they want to be, and I get it. Like, I've been watching Texas football for, I'm 38 years old. I've probably been watching Texas football religiously for 35 years. I understand it. I get it. It's really, really hard to build a dynasty, and it's really, really hard to win national championships. And that's why Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, and Michigan cheated to get one.
Yep.
And then LSU had the best season ever. And those are the teams that have won national championships.
And LSU completely fell apart afterwards.
Yeah. It's like, you can get there. It's not impossible. You just, things have to go right. And
he won't, but if he does, then congratulations to Lane Kiffin. Should we have fired Sark and brought in Lane Kiffin? No. So, I mean, like, it's kind of a null. Like, I get it. I don't think he will win one before. I think Texas has a really good shot to win one next year, and I think LSU has a dog shit chance to win one next year. I think if we fire a bunch of people, we have no chance to win one next year. Just my opinion. But that's my opinion. It's my opinion. I could be completely wrong, Joey. Could be completely wrong. I've been wrong before. I've been doing this for long enough. I've been wrong plenty of times. Don't worry. We're going to take our first break, though. We're going to come back in positive attitudes in hour 2. Positive attitudes here on a Tuesday afternoon. We were going to come back. We're going to have a good time. We have our Overreactions Tuesday coming up. We still got some NFL talk to get into here in hour 2 as well. We want to get into a little more NFL talk. We've also got to talk Texas basketball in hour 2. Sean Miller in the post game, not smiling and laughing after covering a 21.5 point spread, covering it pretty easily against Southern last night. Still wasn't happy. We'll get into all that and more here on hour 2 of Texas Sports Unfiltered and Open Gym.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and all of us at Audiovisual would like to wish you and your family a happy holiday season. This time of year can get a little hectic, so we want to remind you to relax, enjoy the season with your family and friends, and give us a call at 512-255-8678 for all of your home entertainment needs. This is my favorite time of the year. I love the holidays, the music, the decorations, the presents, the whole darn thing. So this year I'm asking all you listeners to help make this a special holiday for everyone. Smiles are contagious and free, so let's give them away like the government gives away your money. Let's high-five strangers on the street, hold the door for people behind us, tip your servers more than they've ever been tipped before. Give to a charity, or hell, give to a bunch of charities. If someone does a good job, tell them they did a good job. Pat someone on the butt. Sing in public places just because it feels good. And as always, hug your kids until they beg you to stop. Watch some games with your friends and make love to your wife or your husband. I know there's some women listening too. You can still give us a call at 512-255-8678 if you'd like to get some cool electronics, but more importantly, have a great holiday season and a fucking awesome next year.
You see Covert everywhere. It's that personal level of just feeling like it's a personal family interaction.
The customer service, it's impeccable. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced buying a car.
Over the 30 years that I've been buying cars from them, I feel like I know them and they know me.
Covert's done an amazing job of making me feel valued. If you purchase a vehicle and you want to feel like you're part of a family, join the Covert family.
Come and experience it for yourself.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
BK here for OLIPOP. Man, this stuff is the game changer of all game changers. Their slogan is a new kind of soda, and that's exactly what it is. You get that same great soda taste, but OLIPOP is actually good for you. Inside of every can, a blend of 7 unique botanicals, plant fibers, and prebiotics. You're getting 9 grams of fiber in every can, only 2 to 5 grams of sugar, and man, the flavor is absolutely there. Classic soda flavors like cola, root beer, lemon lime, and Dr. Goodwin. That's their version of a Dr. Pepper, and some other great flavors as well. The grape, the cream soda, the cherry cola. It's all fantastic. I'm telling y'all, OLIPOP tastes just like the soda you grew up sipping, but with the added benefits of microbiome and digestive health support as well. Pick up OLIPOP at H-E-B, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, and Costco all throughout the Austin area and the state of Texas. And head over to drinkolipop.com. Use the promo code TEXAS20 for a discount on your first purchase. It's OLIPOP, a new kind of soda.
Welcome back to Open Gym here in hour 2 on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patty Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI. And, of course, you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open, 512-222-9328. And, of course, over there on the chat, Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube. Over on the text line, Chan says, you don't want to hire your friends that are merely yes men. Healthy tensions needed, but you can hire your friends, just not yes men. I agree with you, Chan. That is a good change. You can bring in people that you trust. People like the big one is I don't necessarily bring in my friends that don't have the experience on projects, but I'll bring in my friends that I'm like, oh no, these guys do have friends, like have worked in there. We became friends through the wars and the battles that we've been in. So that's a different world of friend than, hey, this is my boy from high school. I feel like maybe that distinction needs to be made.
Yeah, I put Joey in timeout, by the way.
Put him in timeout for a minute. I have no problem with people jumping in and expressing. I get it. I have friends that are the same way, that are, very emotional about it and reactionary. But a lot of times, and I don't know Joey, so I don't know. A lot of times they don't watch a ton of college football. And so they watch every Texas game, religiously every Texas game. They watch and follow everything in Texas. But when you don't have the grand scheme of what college football is, it's harder to have these conversations. So I don't know. I could not tell you. I don't know who Joey is, so I could not tell you. Maybe he does. Maybe he does have, maybe he follows everything, watches all day, every day. Maybe I don't know. But
just for me, if you're going to come into the chat and you're going to do nothing but be negative over and 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 over again, then I'm probably going to put you in timeout. Yes. Chat's a healthy place.
Chan also wants to give our volleyball ladies some love. Yes, they're really good. Volleyball's women's team is very, very good. I'm aware. I do not know enough about volleyball to talk much about volleyball, though.
That's a good thing, Hair of the Dog. That means she's on the right track.
She's on the right track. You got to teach her. There's no crying in football. You just stand there and get angry and go into chat rooms and yell about Mac Brown. That's what you do. You yell to bench Quinn Ewers. We all know that's what you do.
If Sark would have benched Quinn Ewers this year, Texas would have had no offensive line problems.
That would have been the way to go. An interesting thing about Jabbar Jaluk that's just something interesting to mention in there is that Jabbar Jaluk was close to 2 other jobs, like within maybe a day of signing somewhere else. So the reason to get Chad Scott out the door right now, as opposed to waiting a little bit longer and having more meetings with your coaches, maybe something to do with that. No idea. Maybe. Just saying. Just throwing that out there, that could be that when you look for him, he's been targeted by Arkansas and by Kentucky right now to take over some big roles for them. But he was only let go from Florida yesterday as well. So all of those pieces coming together there. Before we get to our overreactions Tuesday, which maybe some people in the chat had started early, started to get into our overreactions a little bit early. Do want to talk a little bit about Texas basketball last night as well. They get the 95-69 win over the Southern Jaguars. This is a kind of a nothing game. We saw Modest Voikatitis have a huge game. It was fun to see his parents in the crowd. The best part was they cut to his parents, and his dad was just enjoying the in-game entertainment, like dancing to the songs and stuff and really getting into it. But his parents apparently in town for a couple games, and the 2 games they saw were Virginia and this, so I'm happy they saw a good one because Virginia, not good. But Modest Voikatitis has 28 points. He's 14 of 14 from the free throw line as well, which tied his school record for most made free throws without a miss. So hats off to the 7-footer for that. We did see Lucina Traore get into the starting lineup. He only plays 13 minutes in the entire game, also racks up 4 personal fouls. Modest Voikatitis, 4 personal fouls. Simeon Wilcher, 3 personal fouls. Then you get Cody with 10 minutes, 2 personal fouls. Cam Heide, 23 minutes, 2 personal fouls. And I think we started to see a little bit more that when Sean Miller came out after this game, Matt, and they were asking, they're like, look, you're 21.5 point favorites. You were up, You're up 19 at half. You end up winning by 26 points. Feels like a pretty good day at the office. You get 95 scored. You hold him to 69. Not good enough for Sean Miller, really upset with the defensive performance once again from this team. Really upset with the amount of fouls for this team. And it's really into the line now of, I know what he's mad about, and he's not wrong. And I know he's trying to stir this up, that it's like a lot of what you're doing is just effort and concentration. And you guys are hacking at players instead of defending. Your hands aren't up. You're not just putting your hands up and following through a play, which is what you're supposed to do when you're not very good at defense. You just kind of run through and you push. But what you want to end up doing is getting your, like, not having to be that bad. They're going for blocks. Their arms are coming down too far when they go for blocks. They're bumping on the exterior too much. And yes, the refs are calling a lot of ticky-tack stuff early in these games. I don't love it. But again, we saw this team the Southern team shoot 25 free throws. They shouldn't be shooting 25 free throws against Texas. You have a 7-footer in the middle. You have these guys. You can't be getting them in foul trouble. Modest Voikatitis is very important. When he has to come off the floor, that's not good for this Texas team. And Sean Miller's not wrong. They have to figure that out. And so now he has said there may be some more lineup changes. But I don't know what you can do, because I don't know who on this staff is and who on this roster is necessarily the guy you're looking for. Because Simeon Wilcher is definitely a better defender than Jordan Pope is, but he's getting in foul trouble. So if he's getting in foul trouble, that means you can't, that's the problem. And Jordan Pope's not necessarily getting in because he doesn't play enough defense, and he's constantly out of position. So what we get into with this Texas team now, Matt, is how do you try and solve a problem with a roster? And I don't know if Sean Miller going into conference play is maybe going to have to accept some of his deficiencies and maybe start to change up a little bit. I don't want him to change his entire philosophy, but right now, you just got to try and get guys in less foul trouble. And then, I just don't know how you're going to really pick up that defense. You have Dalen Swain, you have Tremont Mark, you have Kendall Weaver. You've got all these perimeter defenders. Your big guys inside, though, are the ones who aren't being your rim protectors that you want them to be. But this is Texas had this problem for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the answer is. I if your guys are getting in foul trouble, they're getting in foul trouble. You have to coach them out of getting in foul trouble. I mean, what was the starting lineup last night?
Jordan Pope. You had Pope, Mark, Swain, Voikatitis, and Traore instead of Cam Heide.
I mean, maybe you have to put Kendall Weaver into the starting lineup. Maybe you have to start Simeon Wilcher, even though he is also having some foul issues. Dalen Swain and Tremont Mark as well. Put Dalen Swain at kind of a stretch 4 position. I don't know. You've had some time to figure out what your lineup combinations are going to be. You can't just keep saying we're going to change our lineup and change the matchups and all this stuff when you're running out of ways to do that.
Well, and that's the thing is, if you want to tell me you're changing your lineup, fine. But if you're playing the same 8 to 9 players, there's very little change you can make in there, because those 8 to 9 players are all being part of the problem. So this does feel like Sean Miller is going to be. It's going to be a lot. I don't believe UConn is at Moody here, the dog. But that is your game Friday night. CB, I will say no right now. This team is one of the teams that has the potential to grow up the most. Is one of the things that it will grow up the most is this Texas team, if they're going to be able to continue to evolve. Modest Voikatitis could be a much better player at the end of this season. Lacina Traore will continue to be a better defender. Nick Cody is going to grow up a lot. So if those guys all continue to grow up, Simeon Wilcher becomes a type of player that you want him to be, then this team could be a playoff team by the end of the season, because they're going to have to play well in the SEC, and they're going to have to play well at the SEC tournament. They could also be What I see them as now is a bottom 4 team in the SEC.
Probably
is bottom 4 of the SEC teams, because SEC it's just stacked. There's so many good teams, and right now they're just not playing the games. It's disappointing, but it does feel like that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who they're not playing currently at a high clip that they can change and put in at a high clip. I mean, Nick Cody, I feel like gets on the floor a lot. I don't know that John Clark is going to make a huge difference. Where exactly do you expect to go from here with these different lineup changes?
No,
At the end of the day, the same 8 to 9 guys, like you said, are on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, are there better combinations of those 8 to 9 players who are on the floor at the same time? Maybe, but I don't know how much of a difference that makes at the end of the day.
No, and I mean, yeah, because at the end of when it all breaks down, you just have to look at it and say, these are guys, Lacina Traore, Declan Daru, Nick Cody, are not really offensive players. So how much can you hurt your offense by putting these guys in for defense? And that's going to be the struggle all season, is when you're trying to shore up that defense, how much can you take away the offense? But what Sean Miller wants is runs. He wants runs. He wants to be able to really break down a team. And even last night, you didn't really have a lot of runs. You had an 8-0 run, you had a 10-0 run, but you never really got that death run. That really good teams get on death runs where it's a 25-0 run or 25-3 run or something like that, where you just go, we sucked all the air out of the room. This team cannot breathe anymore. And now we're good to win the game, because we just completely showed that we're the better team. And Texas doesn't have that ability right now because they can't get the stops on the other end without fouling. And everybody knows that. So they're just attacking the big guys in the middle. And you're going to have to figure out a way to stop the fouling. And that should help a little bit with the defense, as long as you just go in there, play with your arms up, play with your arms straight up. Just do that for a while, because UConn is going to get all your guys in foul trouble. Don't worry. That'll be happening on Friday. All right, Matt.
The game is at UConn, by the way.
Yes. Let's get into some overreactions we do here every Tuesday. We ask you, and we ask Matt and everybody playing along with us here, if we think these are overreactions or if we think that they are, justified, maybe warranted reactions. We'll start off with one that I know you're going to say is an overreaction. Texas should have turned down any bowl bid to punish the committee for not selecting them.
No, I think that's ridiculous. You're not Notre Dame. You don't have to. You don't have the what do you call it? The mentality of if we don't get what we want, we're going to bitch and cry and moan until we get what we want. You accept it, you go to work, and you fix it next year, and that's what they're doing. Notre Dame is a bad example of the way this thing should work. They're trying to kill this thing. They're mad at the ACC for giving them a cupcake schedule every year, and then trying to push one of their own teams into the college football playoff, which they have every right to do because they don't make any money off of Notre Dame entering the playoff. So, no, don't ever be Notre Dame, Texas. Don't do it.
No, I'm with you. This is, you shouldn't get out of it. There's great reasons to play in bowl games. They're silly. They're not great, but you get the extra practice. I know some people just always want to poop on anything that's not the best thing in the world. And you go, look, we're not all there. I get bowl games aren't the playoffs. I get that. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy them. Like, just because I can't, have Matt's $700 bottle of bourbon doesn't mean I don't enjoy a drink of whiskey every once in a while. There's still value within it, even though it's not the best thing in the world. And that's kind of, it seems like it's a no-brainer to get more practice, to get your guys some more playing time, to get those young guys some reps with Arch Manning before you go off, to keep your team together, continue to build that culture, continue to let Arch Manning become the leader he needs to be next season. All of those things are really important that you get to do where you thought you were going to be playing in January earlier. So now you're going to play till December 31st, play on New Year's Eve. The only problem I have with the game is that it's going to be a long New Year's Eve. because we got a Texas game early, and then I'm supposed to be up till midnight now. So we got to get figure out maybe a power nap on New Year's Eve if I can find a bowl game that's not as much fun to watch. But yeah, that one seems like an easy answer there. That yes, you want to play in bowl games. All right, our next overreaction. We saw this after another week of conference championships and people saying they don't want to play in them in the bye weeks and all of this stuff. Conference championship games will be gone within 5 years.
Unfortunately, I think that might be true. The more you expand the playoff, the less likely that teams are going to want to play this game because it's just more games that they have to play on their schedule. And it starts to take away the meaning of it. Eventually, it's going to get to a point where the college football playoff, based on the way that they have made their decisions this year, I feel like eventually they're going to make a choice with a conference championship participant that is going to, have a ripple effect, like leaving somebody out because they lost in a championship game or whatever the case may be. And they have become a lot less meaningful. Hair of the dog. I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I still love conference championships. I still think you should win a conference championship and be really excited about going to Atlanta and hoisting the SEC championship trophy. It means a lot, at least in my opinion. Other people disagree, and I get it. But at a certain point, I feel like they're probably going to go away, and everybody's going to probably switch to, what the Big 12 did, or not, maybe not the Big 12, but like back in the day when there wasn't these conference championship games,
Yeah.
Just whoever is on the top of the standings at the end of the year wins the title.
I do think they're not meaningless to me at all. But I do agree that they've lost this luster of, man, if you win this, maybe you get a shot to go to the playoffs. Now it is, well, we can't mess with the playoffs because we don't want people to stop watching this. The playoffs have surpassed what the conference championships are. I think there's ways to make them matter a little bit more, but I agree. I think they're going to get sucked into kind of a playoff play-in game type of thing that won't necessarily be what they were, which brings us to our next overreaction, Matt. The college football playoffs will jump to 24 within 5 years.
I mean, it's probably going to happen because this is your second year in the 12-team playoff.
Yep.
And 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 are all bitching and moaning because they didn't get in. And like, what do we do? Right? Well, you go to 16. Okay, then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 are all going to bitch and moan because they didn't get in for a couple years. So then what do we do now? Well, let's just expand it to 24. And it's just going to keep going and going and going. And it's obnoxious. And I hate it. And it should be 4 teams. They never should have taken it away from 4 teams. At the largest, it should be 8. But that's never going to happen.
Yeah, no, but I think it'll be 24. And I think what'll end up happening on this one is it will be with conference championships. And it will be, all right, all conference championships are now playoff games. So you can say you're into it. But it'll eventually go into it. They're going to start getting rid of non-conference games because they're going to kill non-conference by having this. So it'll be even harder to figure out what teams are good because there'll be less interleague play before the playoffs. But I think eventually they'll start to knock off non-conference games. Go, well, the season's only going to be 10 games. 9 of them are conference games. You get 1 non-con and then you get the playoffs. And we don't really care about the teams who aren't in, but we're going to give an automatic bid to a group of 5 team. But we don't care. We really don't care. We want you to lose by 70 because we don't really want you to be here, but we're going to pretend. Yeah, and Tibble Brutus, Duke would have kind of been in on a fake model now, but I think it'll change up where they go. It's insane what'll end up happening to it, but I think it will because, again, it's people with money trying to make decisions about sports that they don't know why people watch. And they'll just say, well, the same thing of saying conference championship games don't matter. Those games were still a lot of fun to watch. Now, granted, 2 of them were mass blowouts, but I was excited to watch all of those games. So I think there is reasons to have them on, but once you start to get rid of everything, it becomes harder and harder. I think it'll be there.
Here's the
All
other
right.
thing too.
Go ahead.
Kind of to hair of the dog's point. They're just going to start getting greedy for money too, which is going to lead to 16, and then they'll get more greedy for money, and it's going to lead to 24, and then they'll get more greedy for money, and it's going to lead to 32. And then week one of the college football season is going to be your playoff. You're going to play one game, and if you lose, you're out.
You're out. Guys, we got to train all off season. One game. Get out of here. All right. Let's get back to real good questions, man. Saw this one down. It's not one I made up. Curt Cignetti is the best coach in college football today.
No. I do think he's a top 5 coach.
Okay.
But I think Ryan Day is the best coach in college football. Or actually, no, I think Kirby Smart is the best coach in college football. I think Ryan Day is the second best coach in college football. I think Dan Lanning is the third best coach in college football. And then I think you can talk about Cignetti.
Okay. All right. Sark somewhere in that top 5 or top 10 right now.
He's top 5, I think. I think he's number 5.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's the best coach. I don't think you get that title for one season. I think he's a good coach. I think Kalen DeBoer is still a really good coach. And I know he's lost some games, but I still think he's a very good coach. Cignetti's going to get the edge on a lot of this right now because he is the number 1 team in the country. If we talk about this in 2 weeks and he gets blown out, or in 3 weeks or whatever it is, and he gets blown out in that first game that they play, I mean, they just beat Ohio State, but if they get blown out in their first game, then you're like, okay, well, now you're not clearly one of the best coaches because you could get him up for Ohio State, but you couldn't get him up for this other game. Now, if he wins the national championship, it changes. Yeah. So there's still a lot to be said on that one. I think it's premature to give it already because we've seen that. And I think Dan Lanning probably would have been a point where he would have been the greatest coach in college football. And then we went, okay, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. So I think he is a really good coach. He's proven what he can do. But I think this is also that point of, is this like Washington with Kalen DeBoer, who was really got a team to play at the next level, but once the success came, it was really hard to maintain it? Or is this building a dynasty where you're going to be able to bring in players, continually bring into a program, continually play that everybody hates you and doesn't think you're great, even though they're saying now you're the greatest coach and all that stuff? Can you continue to do that? Or is that is that a skill or an ability that you cannot keep doing once you win? And so I think you have to have everything done to be put into that. And he just hasn't earned that yet. But he could. And he'll go a long way if he wins the title this year.
I mean, look, Dan Lanning was the only undefeated team in college, in Oregon was the only undefeated team in college football last year. Mm-hmm. And then they got crushed in the playoffs. And that conversation kind of disappeared. I don't know that that's going to happen to Cignetti. But yeah, he needs to win something before we can call him the best coach in college football. You got multiple national title winners ahead of you already.
Yeah. All right. How about this one? Texas Tech will breed more mass money transfer rosters. Texas Tech having the success they've had this season, you will see some other billionaire donors step in and say, instead of trying to have a logical long-term plan of success, we're going all in one season. And that is our method. We are going, and so my $50 million donation for one season, we're going $150 million one season, and I'm not paying you for the next 2. But I'm going to give it all to you now and tell you got to go get in the portal. And I mean 150 is way more, but I'm putting a ton of money into one transfer portal. Would you think there will see more of those teams, Matt? Or is this a one-off and most people say, okay, he's trying to prove a point. He's also trying to really change up some other things with rules and regulations. So maybe this is all more of a business plan than we know what it is yet.
I mean, I think you're going to see more of it until some rules are put in place to taper it off. Because with a lot of these other schools around the country, there's a billionaire somewhere.
Yep.
And he's going to be like, well, if Texas Tech can do it, we can do it. I know there's some billionaire Texas fans. So do your part. I don't know. I mean, I don't think Texas is ever really going to do that because they recruit at such a high level already. and there's so much talent on the roster already. Like when Texas Tech does that, they bring in like 22 new starters or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like 20 new starters on that team.
Yeah.
So it's hard to believe that like some of these other teams who are already established are going to have to do that. Like Texas doesn't have to do that. They just have to fix like a couple of positions on offense and a couple of positions.
No, but the basic concept would be, if you wanted to do it for Texas, we'd say you bring in 2 all-star wide receivers, you bring in 3 all-star offensive linemen, maybe 4. You bring in an all-star running back, you bring in another all-star edge, 2 all-star defensive linemen in the middle. You bring in 2 all-star linebackers. Like, you could go out there and just go, we're going looking at all SEC first team and all Big 12 first team and all that, and that's all we're bringing in. If you're not a first team, we're not bringing in. And like, but that concept is crazy to try and do. I'm with you. Just saying that's what that in the logic of some minds would be, go put together your all Madden team and the one that's everyone's ranked 99, and then we have to win it all, right?
Yeah, it's just like that's not even what Texas Tech did is the thing. No. So it's very unrealistic. But I mean, if there are some programs in college football that could do it, it's Texas, it's Ohio State, it's Notre Dame.
Yep.
Like a couple other ones maybe. So.
All right, last one, Matt. For the college, we got some NFL ones coming up. Last one for college. We should just go back to the BCS.
No, absolutely not. And I will always point to this when people bring this up. In 2008, the BCS made absolutely no sense because Texas beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma beat Texas Tech, and Texas Tech beat Texas. And for some reason, that means that Texas gets left out of the conversation. Oklahoma goes to the national championship, and they lose.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. And Joe, yeah, Vegas. I'm all for Vegas, man. If everyone's going to be taking money from Vegas, then we got to stop pretending. Now, I know there's a lot of people fighting it, and they don't want Vegas involved in any of it. Whereas I feel like we're well past that point of having any say in that. But yeah, Vegas, go pick the best games. Go out there and find the teams that'll make great matchups that everybody wants to see. And Vegas just gets to go into the committee's meeting and go, I'm sorry, that matchup you have has that matchup you have, we'd put that line at 14.5. So that can't be a matchup. Can't be.
I'd be fine with it. I'd be more than happy with Vegas making these decisions over a bunch of fat dudes that don't know football sitting in a room drinking Perrier, pretending like they're paying attention to the games.
By the way, they had 2 games on when they cut to the committee at 11 a.m. or no, at 2:30, I think it was. They cut to it, and I believe there was only 1 game on. I didn't think there was another game on right then. But they had 2 games. Mattered. Yeah, but I felt like they had the 1 big screen and then 2 smaller screens of another game. And I was like, there's only 1 game on. What are y'all watching? So I don't know.
I think Central Michigan was playing.
Oh, you got to watch that one if you're the committee. You want to be distracted from the only game that matters. And Hair the Dog, don't disparage my name around the cheating old Dodgers cheating team. Cheaters. We know it. Just signed another guy. Just playing another player a bunch of money. Come on. All right.
Better to cheat within the rules of the game than break the rules to cheat, Patrick.
Oh, man, there's a great thing of JJ Redick explaining all of that. It's great. And his point of it too, where he was just like, JJ Redick's just like, yeah, the only reason we did it is because we had very good information that every other, 7 other teams were doing it. So that's why we did it, because everyone else was doing it. And we felt we had to do it. He's like, it's baseball. It's what everyone does in baseball. I'm like, yeah, it's the most cheating sport out there. It is. Mm-hmm. It is the most cheating sport. Everybody does it. It's the only sport that there's a little league scandal like once every 2 or 3 years. Like every 2 or 3 years, like even a little league, we're cheating. It's how much we cheat in this game. All right, NFL overreactions for you, Matt. First one, the Colts season is over.
Yep.
Daniel Jones, Achilles injury. We did get the news today, though. Phillip Rivers is signed to the Colts practice squad as of today. The 44-year-old Phillip Rivers met with the team late last night, has come back, has been apparently keeping in shape. Phillip Rivers has a son older than Riley Leonard, the backup quarterback, who is also injured. I believe he also has a grandson. So Phillip Rivers might be the first grandfather playing in the NFL, 44 years old. But he is signed to the practice squad. Now, they haven't said they're able to elevate him yet because they have to see how he reacts to it all. I do agree with the statement that if he is the starting quarterback against the Houston Texans the last week of the season, that's elder abuse. That Texas defense is legit, man. You can't be doing that. But that is the news today. He is officially signed to the Colts now. He's on the practice squad. He's not on the main roster yet. But is the Colts season over?
Yes, it is. But Phillip Rivers probably should have gone to Notre Dame because he's got 10 kids. 10.
Yeah. So he wants to get
out
of
what
the house.
It reminded me of, and I saw somebody post this meme on Twitter as well. It's when have you seen The Longest Yard?
The second one, I think. I don't think I ever saw the original.
Yeah, the when the old man, I can't remember his name. He's one of the most famous actors of all time. I can't remember. Burt Reynolds. Yes, yes, Burt Reynolds. He's like 60 years old and he runs out there at quarterback for the Longest Yard team. That's what Phillip Rivers is going to do. It's he might break in half when they play the Texans if he starts that game.
I'm sure he's still in good shape. 44 is not that crazy old. It's only a couple years older than me. But to play in the NFL, it is a crazy old age. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is 42 now or something. So it's not out of the world. But Tom Brady could do it. But
maybe they're trying to get the Joe Flacco effect.
Yeah, they're going for the Joe Flacco effect. The problem is you are in a playoff hunt, but that's a tough division right now to go into as well. That is a tough division to go into and try and pick it up against the Jags who you play again and the Texans who you play again. I'm just not sure they're going to be able to get it done. All right. How about this next one then? The Cowboys season still has hope after another Eagles loss, with the Eagles losing the game last night. They take another loss. I mean, one of the most amazing plays I've ever seen of a quarterback turning the ball over twice in one play. That's difficult to do, Matt. That is difficult to do. It does give him a meathead nomination for Jalen Hurts. Throwing a pick, ball coming out of the defender, Jalen Hurts picking it up, taking 2 steps, getting hit, and fumbling it is mind-boggling levels of debauchery by Jalen Hurts. 4 interceptions and a fumble in that game for Jalen Hurts. They lose 22-19 in overtime last night by the foot of Dicker the kicker, Longhorn legend Dicker the kicker. So they are now 8-5. Is there still hope for this Dallas Cowboys team who is 6-1?
Probably not. I mean, the Eagles have lost 3 in a row, and they still have the Bills on the schedule, which they'll probably lose that game. But the other 2 games their other 3 games are the Commanders and twice and the Raiders once. So it's not looking good, but that would also require the Dallas Cowboys to stop somebody, which it appears they still cannot do.
What do they have left on their schedule? You have to stop J.J. McCarthy this week.
Well, that's a win. That's an easy win.
You have to stop this Commanders offense that we don't know if Jaden Daniels may be tanking Commanders. You have to stop the Giants with who knows who's going to be healthy by that time of the season for the Giants. And then you have to beat the Chargers. So there's really only one game that should be even, I mean, J.J. McCarthy and 2 tanking teams. And the Chargers.
But it's also the same for Philly. So the Philly would have to drop 2 of those for Dallas and Dallas would have to win out.
I can believe they can drop one of those. Philly's been awful. Jalen Hurts going to keep turning the ball over. Philly has the Raiders, Commanders, Bills, and Commanders. So they have you got to really hope the Commanders get angry in one of those games and somehow pull off a win they're not trying to win. The Raiders.
And didn't Jalen Daniels get hurt again?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, what are we doing? Washington, just hold him out, man. He's your future. Don't RG3 this dude.
Hey, put him in against the Eagles. Only the Eagles, though, not the Cowboys, just the Eagles. All right. How about this one? Mike Tomlin will win the division and keep his job once again.
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately for the Steelers, yes. He is the cockroach in the side of the room. Yeah, and Joe and Hair the dog, the Cowboys will be the only 500 team in the NFL this year. The only one.
It's impressive. It's impressive. But yeah, this is Mike Tomlin with a huge win over the Ravens, Matt. Basically almost killing the Ravens off.
Mm-hmm.
And single-handedly putting themselves in that picture because the Bengals also get the loss. So in that division, it's just garbage. And Rooney's master plan falling apart in front of them. Who are they going to get at quarterback next year now, Matt? What? Phillip Rivers? Phillip Rivers to the Steelers next year?
Potentially. The Dolphins are going to beat him this week. And then the Lions are going to beat him the week after that. They do play the Ravens again, but what are the Ravens now? 6-7. So they're only 2 games back, or 1 game back, right?
But I think that, well, let's see, the tiebreaker is a big one in there as well.
Yeah, but they play him again.
So Pittsburgh just has to win that game?
Basically to get the tiebreaker, I guess. I don't know how the NFL tiebreakers work. They're very convoluted, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have a game lead on them right now, but they did win that head-to-head, which really put the kibosh on what the Ravens thought they were going to do to be able to get through the rest of the season. The Ravens play the Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. So not an easy path for the Ravens as well, playing 2 really good football teams. Now, the good news is you're allowed to hold Micah Parsons. That's what I've been told. That's what Matt LaFleur told me. You're allowed to hold him. It is crazy that there's not been one hold against Micah Parsons this season. That is a crazy stat.
That is very crazy.
So I agree with Matt LaFleur. That is crazy. I wouldn't have complained about it after a win, but I probably would mention it to somebody, like anonymously, be like, hey, by the way, start putting this stat out there because people are going to think it's crazy. You can fire a coach who makes the playoffs, Joe. Several teams have done it. I think Sean McDermott has been on that bubble for a long time now too, with Buffalo, of like not being able to get over the hump. And you're like, you're really good, but it's just not happening. So can we do it or not? But you can fire a coach who makes the playoffs. The problem with the Steelers is Mike Tomlin's so ingrained, and the Steelers don't fire coaches. Like, they are not that franchise that is constantly changing coaches. That Bill Cowher was there forever, and then Mike Tomlin's been there forever. So that's more the weird part of, like, how do you fire a coach who, when you don't fire anybody, and then you're just going to hire some random guy? Like, there's not necessarily, you don't have the team that somebody else wants to come in and coach right away, and you know you're going to have to rebuild, so get rid of some guys. You just paid TJ Watt, sorry. I get that there could be issues with that. All right. Speaking of another team who's tanking, Fernando Mendoza will be the Raiders quarterback next season.
Well, let me look at something. I think that's possible. As it stands right now, the Giants have the number 1 pick. They've got Jackson Dart. I don't think they'll pick another quarterback. Vegas is 2nd. Titans are 3rd. Cleveland is 4th. Then New Orleans, then Washington, then the Jets. I think it depends how the Raiders finish out. I hope they're smarter than picking Fernando Mendoza. I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's worthy of a number 1 draft pick. But the Giants, the Titans, the Commanders probably all aren't going to pick a quarterback. It's possible.
The Raiders finish their season at the Eagles, at the Texans, versus the Giants, versus the Chiefs.
They can win 2 of those games.
I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs are going to be coming pretty hard at them at the end of that to just try and win the last game.
If they get eliminated from the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a sore knee, and he's not going to play the rest of the year.
Dude, how do we don't even know. I mean, when he played at Texas Tech, he fought at Texas Tech.
Yeah, but like he's Patrick Mahomes. Like, why are you risking an injury late in the year if you're not making the playoffs?
We get a Tech on the text line. Longhorn Lubbock says Tech has to buy new teams every year. It's Lubbock and it's Tech. Tech's model is not sustainable. Look how hard it is with normal talent. They got lucky with spending in their Mountain West conference. Yeah, Texas Tech's model is not sustainable. That's kind of the point. We know it's not a sustainable thing because it's going to cost so much money. But at the end of the day, that is someone else is going to try it. Not working is not a reason that people haven't tried. Rich people haven't thrown money at things. All right. A couple more here for you, Matt. Baker Mayfield will be cut and dubbed a bust again at the end of the season. They lost to the Saints, and it feels like Baker Mayfield is going to get the short end of the stick, even though it's not really his fault. That Baker Mayfield can only be an MVP candidate or a bust. He's never allowed to be either other. He can't just be a normal quarterback in the NFL, and I don't know why that is. But
I mean,
I don't think he's going to get cut. By the way, I don't.
No,
I think he's going to get blamed for the season, even though it's not really his fault.
I mean, he was an MVP candidate at one point this season, and then the team just got incredibly injured. They had a really rough schedule. I mean, they lost 3 in a row to the Patriots, the Bills, and the Rams. Like, that's a really tough deal. And yeah, he played terrible against New Orleans. He played terrible he got hurt against the Rams. Maybe he's still hurt.
I would believe that.
I think he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL still.
I would have to go down the list of where he is, but I do think he's still a very good quarterback. I think that's one of those overreactions ones that we see every now and then. Tampa Bay is still in the lead of that division. They're still in the lead of the NFC South, but Panthers had a week off. So they're now tied at 7-6. So the Panthers caught up without playing this week, but they didn't play, so they couldn't take the lead. But I don't think the Falcons or Saints are going to take it over. But a big one, because in tiebreakers, it probably goes to divisional, and losing to the Saints is not good in those divisionals.
Nope.
Not good at all. All right, one more one. The NFL will adjust rules after this season to help the offense once again. We are seeing Joe Burrow. We're seeing Patrick Mahomes, seeing Lamar Jackson, all possibly missing the playoffs. We're seeing some of these great offensive minds and great offensive teams not having the seasons they want to have. And we're starting to see teams with really good defenses step up, and defenses being a big part of it. Does that lead to, and running the ball again, not exactly what the NFL wants? Will they go back to a more pass-happy play calling offense? The NFL has done it before, and the defenses just adjust. Do you think they will go back to it again?
Probably. Let's not forget, there's another extremely elite quarterback who's not going to make the playoffs more than likely.
Well, who's that?
Quinn Ewers.
I mean, he could try to sneak back in. That division's tough, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, they're always going to try to change rules at least a little bit to help the offense, I believe, because offense is what puts butts in seats, and it is what makes ratings, and quarterbacks are too. So they're always going to try to do that. So I buy that.
Yeah, no, it does feel like this will be at the end of the season, yet another pushback of we'll start to see little adjustments. We'll see the way the game's called. Maybe next season we'll see a few more PIs than you want to see early in the season. But it's one of the things, and I've noticed this across college football, I've noticed this across the NFL, that it does feel like the offensive line has suffered really a lot from CTE. And I don't mean they're having it. I mean the players not being allowed to play, of not getting the amount of players you would normally get. So part of it is players just not wanting to play offensive line, which has always been a problem, that it's the least heralded, least, happy place to go, that even defensive line, it's not very fun to play offensive line for a lot of guys. And then I think a lot of mothers are just like, oh, my kid's coming home with headaches and stuff because he's ramming his head into another player over and over and over again when you're young and you don't know any better. And these kids are not lasting long enough. And then you throw them into NIL being a piece where players are getting spread out across so many more teams now. So scouting could be a little bit harder to find them, and development's not the same because you're taking the bag and not necessarily being developed in a way that you're ready for the NFL. But it feels like across college football, across the NFL, offensive line play has been down, like going down every season. And part of that will lead to defenses being much better because there, if you can't build an offensive line, teams are going to get after you. So I'm curious what they're going to do to try and change that in both college and pro football to go, we have to protect our most valuable pieces, which are our quarterbacks. And we also have to get high scoring games. People don't like low scoring games. Now, if you're Notre Dame, it matters more that you scored 40 points against teams than playing good teams. Matters more. So high scoring is more important than playing good teams. So I've heard that argument enough now in the last week. But I think that I think they're going to start addressing that a little bit more because it does feel like it's going the wrong direction for offensive lines right now, not just at Texas, but across football.
I agree. Whatever they do, it'll be quarterback centric, but offensive line will be a focus as well.
Yeah, because you're protecting the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what you're talking about. It's like, we need you to be better because we need the quarterback to be safer.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that, but I'm sure they'll figure something out.
So this is the thing I had talked about a year ago. I don't know how you really do it. I don't know how effective this would actually be, but I think if you pushed a legal man downfield a little bit further, I think it would really wildly affect how well the offense could play. So it's dangerous because it is a cheat code. But if you allow your offensive linemen to lean on some guys a little bit more and to be able to push back a little bit more instead of having to only go backwards, I think you could have some better players and some better pushes if they weren't as afraid of, well, if I do this, I'm going to be downfield too far. I can't go a foot and a half, 2 feet or a yard or half a yard or whatever it is that I can go before I'm an illegal man downfield in the pass play. If you spread that out, I don't know what the number is. I don't know what they have to do, all the analytics and test on that. But I think it'll be an interesting way that normal fans wouldn't think it was such a crazy way to help the offense. But every defensive football person would freak out about. Because they're
I like that
you're letting
idea.
these minds like Sean McVay and everybody, you're giving them extra tricks. You're giving our defenders, they don't know if it's a run play or a pass play. You can trick people like that. I think there'd be a lot of things you could do to help boost the offense, and it wouldn't necessarily get on everybody's radar the same way.
That's really smart, Patrick. I really like that idea. Let's do it.
That's why I get paid the big bucks, Matt. All right, we're going to take our second break. We're going to come back, and we'll wrap up the show here on a Tuesday afternoon here on Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Hi, I'm Dan Covert with my wife Hayden. Welcome to Covert BK.
Our newest location in the gorgeous Hill Country includes Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and hundreds of pre-owned and certified vehicles for you to choose from. We have 3 service departments that are ready to take care of your car, truck, or SUV with 86 service bays to accommodate any repair and get you in and out quickly. Come visit us today to select the vehicle you've been dreaming about.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our clients for making the last 37 years both fun and fruitful. If you haven't yet, I'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic, inexperienced sales geeks, or pushy showroom tactics. We come to you. So just relax, hug your kids, and smile. We handle all the work. Just give us a call at 255-8678 or online at avconsultations.com.
Say hello to Jason and the gang over at Relax the Back. They embrace a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle based on 35 years, folks, of proven expertise, and my back couldn't be happier. Their motto is live wellness, and folks, they can transform your routine, your daily routine, into something very, very special if you have back pain. If you're struggling with thoracic problems, if you've got hip problems, if you've got lumbar problems, please go over to one of their stores. They got 2 great locations, and find out a chair or a recliner or a sofa that's going to fit you and going to make your life a whole lot better. I've got this office chair right here that I've been sitting in for years, and I love it. 2 locations, folks, at the Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck and Relax the Back.
SendTexTickets.com. If you're in the market for tickets to any sporting event, any concert, any Broadway show, anything live coming to town, you got to head over to SendTexTickets.com. The best seats to all of the biggest events, not just here in Austin, but all over the state and all over the country as well. It's so easy to use. Just log on your phone or computer to SendTexTickets.com. All of their tickets are 100% guaranteed, and they will be delivered right to your phone or computer. So simple to use, and you're also helping to support a local business every time you shop. SendTexTickets.com. So if you want to be at the biggest events in sports and entertainment, there's only one place to go. It's SendTexTickets.com.
All right, back here on Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered, wrapping it up on a Tuesday afternoon. Hoping my voice holds with us. I got a little cough and stuff today. It's like I feel like it's the first winter. You're starting to get a little something in my throat, so I'm hoping it's nothing too bad. I got plans on Thursday. I can't be getting sick, man. Can't be getting sick, but hopefully we'll be feeling better. Matt, are you ready for the NBA Cup to start tonight?
No.
Come on, it's the NBA Cup, man. It's gonna be great.
Still don't know what the NBA Cup means, Patrick.
I will tell you this. There's some really good matchups. They've already started. The Heat and Magic are playing right now. The Knicks and Raptors play later tonight in that. And then tomorrow, you will get the Suns and the Thunder, and you will get the Spurs and the Lakers. I know that Steph Castle came back to the lineup last night for the Spurs, and Wemby is making the trip to LA. They have not said whether he will be cleared or not to play in the game, but he is making the trip to LA to possibly play in the game for the Spurs against the Lakers. But it's actually some fun matchups for NBA. If you have not watched it yet and you have Prime, these will all be on Prime. Just something, a little taste of some NBA action. If you want to get it right now, you can go see those games and see a little NBA Cup action. The courts are still, I'm pretty sure, ugly is all sin, but yeah, look, the NBA Cup, I think it's silly. I like the matchups this year. I like the matchups this season, so it'll be interesting to see. Partially because my Spurs are in it. That probably is part of it, but I think there's some fun matchups in there in the first round. So I'll be watching a little bit of that. Look, we have to start transitioning, guys. Football's not around as much as it used to be. Football's leaving us. So I've got to start transitioning over to my basketball. I've been watching. I still watch basketball all the time, but I haven't been watching as much as I probably will start watching it more and more now as we get further into it. And then once we get into January, then it's basketball time.
It's just really hard for me to get into basketball since I don't have a team anymore.
I
have a hard time getting motivated to start watching a new team, just as much as I have a hard time being motivated to continue watching the Mavericks. So I'm kind of in limbo right now with the NBA.
See, this is when you need to have a fantasy basketball team.
Yeah, I guess. I've tried that before. It's really hard to keep up with.
It is very hard to keep up with because you got to keep changing your lineups, and especially now because they do. So I've never really done it. But that's all. I've thought about it, but I also have the Spurs. So I'm like, I'll just watch the Spurs all the time, then I'll just watch some other basketball. But I think if you were just like, oh, I can turn on this game and go see this team, it'd be more fun to watch. But yeah, NBA Cup action starts tonight of the quarterfinals. Sorry, the game's already happened, but now we've got our final 8 teams.
I will say that if the Mavericks had traded Luka to literally anybody other than the Lakers, I probably would be a fan of a basketball team right now. I'm with you on that one. We will see. There's a lot of rumors about Anthony Davis being traded as well, swirling around that the Mavs are going to move on from Anthony Davis. So you can stay on those. But I don't know what the hell they're going to get for it. But maybe if they trade him, there's a new rumor you may love as well, Matt, that Jason Kidd was actually tanking the beginning of the season and put Cooper Flagg at point guard to get Nico Harrison fired. And soon as Nico Harrison got fired, he put him into his regular position. They started playing regular basketball. But he was actually just trying to do that to get Nico Harrison fired. Well, if my GM traded Luka away, I would probably do the same thing.
Real quick, we'll hit our meathead of the day. It's a real quick one. CJ Stroud ignoring a billionaire. I always enjoy when we see owners. It's hard to see, but CJ Stroud high-fiving all the fans. There's Cal McNair, the owner of the Texans, and he just got to put the hand down. Always hilarious to watch when you see somebody like, okay. But look, CJ Stroud, I guarantee went over and said hi to him because he's about to ask him for a ton of money at the end of this season.
It would have made it a lot funnier if Cal had his hand up and CJ walked by and then he just went.
All right, we got to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll have some more coaching news, more transfer portal news. We'll get into all of that and more on a Wednesday edition of Open Gym. But until then, be kind, be safe, keep your underwear clean, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow for more from Open Gym.